nipple guy.
Not a nipple guy. It makes me think of udders.
I was gonna say, yeah, I like a good cow too.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network with thousands, maybe millions of listeners tuning in, but one less today that me and Feilberg can rest easy about. Because we recently found out that Casey Smith's mom found KFC Radio and started tuning in. And that's always a precarious spot when, it's your own family or friends, or you find out, Ellen Carabas listens to CCK all the time, and I'm always like, Jared's talking about painting the walls. I'm always like, this is crazy. But Casey's mom found KFC Radio somehow, some way. She said she's not very technologically adept, so she kind of stumbled upon it, and she liked it. But if you are familiar with our last episode, John was talking about how he was doing mushrooms all weekend on a weekend that her mom knew that she was hanging out with John. So the first question was, Casey, are you doing shrooms? And I was talking about how she had the shakes from drinking too much, and then hopefully she stopped listening because we went on to talk about jerking off 15 times a day. Yeah. I mean, this is not a parent-friendly show. It's not a kid-friendly show.
You can be a parent and enjoy the show as long as you're not
involved. A parent involved tangentially
in
involved,
here, yeah.
Right? Because you're going to hear some things. She's like, apparently, the direct quote was that we're sweet boys. It's like, well, you're sweet
which
balls.
I agree with, by the way.
Right. I mean, we're proof positive. You could be sweet boys and talk about butt sex and shit. I don't know, whatever we're going to talk about, but it's not.
I mean, look at me. I look like I'm wearing an ascot right now. I'm a
yeah,
sweet
you
boy.
do. You do.
I look like fucking Malibu Beach Ken. Like you have a little fucking bandana tied around his neck.
You look like the dude from Fred from fucking Scooby Doo.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you what, like the look.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan of this.
He was
look.
like the hot guy leader of the pack for a reason.
COVID might end. You might catch me
still rocking that,
strolling around with a fucking bandana tied around my neck and fucking
it's
beach
a flex.
shirts.
You got the double collar going. You got the regular collar. You got the neck collar. I mean, sweet boy. Yeah. Mrs. Smith's missing out on this one. So, I mean, that was always, thank God my parents don't have the ability to find the podcast. They don't have the desire to listen to the podcast.
My mom's a big podcast fan, but just not concerned with me.
That's good.
She
That's
likes
excellent.
The Daily and New York Times shit. She doesn't really
She's a respectable person. Yeah. Polly is not messing around with this shit over here.
This weekend, she was talking to my girlfriend, and my girlfriend was making fun of how I shop at the supermarket. Which, by the way, I'm going to stand by what I do.
How do you shop at the supermarket?
I just go down the main aisle, and if I see an aisle, something I need, I go down it. She likes to weave it like a snake, every go.
I mean, that's male female right there. That's I'm in and out.
I don't need anything in that aisle.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to the next one.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Because especially if you do what she does, one, you end up buying shit you don't really need. Yep. Two, you end up walking by the cereal and the candy and the this and the that,
dog food,
cookies and the
cleaning supplies. Right. I don't need anything in this aisle. I know for a fact. Let's go to the milk.
Right.
But she was telling my mom about it, and my mom said, "Here's a little thing about dealing with Feidelberg men. You can give them 2 tasks. The rest is up to you."
Yo, that sort of awareness and acceptance is so important in the world. I have a friend who's his family's big. I think there's 5 kids, and 4 of them are boys, and one is a sister. And we were at his house one time. We went to his house when we were in college, and we had a barbecue and shit. And she was serving us, and they were kind of barking out some orders. And at one point I remember being like, "Damn, they're really giving it to you." And she's like, "I know my role here. I just get it, you know?" And she's happy to do it, and it was peaceful, and it's a system that works, because she was just like, these motherfuckers aren't going to do anything. Someone's going to have to cook the food and serve it, and it's going to be me, whatever.
There was one point where we were
2 tasks.
We were hanging out in the living room, in the kitchen. We were kind of preparing some food, whatever. And I was like, "Mom, look outside." And my mom runs to the window and is like, "Oh my God." And you would have thought there was a baby running at an electrical socket with a fork, and it was my dad on the grill. And Casey goes, "Can he not cook?" And my mom goes, John sells insurance.
Let me tell you what he can do, not what he can't do.
John sells insurance and he works out.
Does those two things very well. Johnny Two Tasks. That's the new name. Johnny Two Tasks. He can do two things. It's like, yo, we got to do. Even here, it's like we got to do like KFC radio, and then we'll do like Am I the Asshole, and then after that, it's like I need a drink. I'm out. I'm done. I love it. It's so much better. Your mom and everybody else, I'm sure, in the family, all the women understand that, accept that, and everybody's life is better for it.
Yeah.
If you're just like, hey, I'll get those two things out of you, and I'll take care of the rest, rather than fighting it. It's an uphill battle. Sisyphus over here. You might as well just acquiesce, just give in, basically.
It's easier to just do it than it is to teach me to do it. Or expect me to do it.
Well, that's the same reason I can't do anything handy. My dad didn't teach me how to do anything because he was like, just give me the fucking hammer, you know? And he knew what he was doing. Now it's like too late. He can't teach me. Old dog, new tricks. But it was out of frustration in the moment. Like, well, this is going to take 3 times as long. I'm not going to do that.
I'll just hammer this.
I'll just get back on the couch.
Hold the fucking flashlight. That's it.
Right. The world needs more of that. I'll tell you. Expectations. It's the root of all evil.
Expectations.
Yep.
I could agree with that.
Like every time
you could put that like in TV shows. Oh, this is gonna be great. This stinks. Well, it doesn't stink. It's okay. Your
you just thought it was
expectations
going
were
to
too
be
high.
right. And I mean, especially with TV shows, when we're all guilty of turning a TV show into something it's just not. It's like, no, this was just about murder or whatever. There wasn't some twist or
Secret sex cult. We're both talking about True Detective.
Right, exactly. It was like, no, it's just a guy and 2 cops chasing him, whatever. But I feel like in relationships and whatever, it's like, girls are always trying to change guys. Everybody's got to change a little bit, but you can't overhaul because then it's just not the right person. You know,
Yeah.
Don't ask me to do 10 tasks. Let's work on getting to 3, and then everyone will be happier.
You bought cheese and thought it was gonna be a hamburger. Like, no, you can make cheese into something special.
You can't make it something that's
into
not
a hamburger.
Exactly.
You can't make it into meat.
Exactly that. And it's like if
cheese.
if you're Johnny Two Tasks, if you're a big block of cheese, okay, and somebody, a girl or a boss or someone is like, okay, I need you to do this, and then tomorrow that. You're like, that's 10 things. That's 5 times my limit. I'm done. But if they say, hey, can you do your usual 2 tasks, and then like, could you squeeze in like 1 extra thing? You might be inclined to be like, all right, I can get that one thing done. But don't ask me to do something. Don't ask me to be something I'm not, because it ain't happening. Expectations. Manage them, folks. Manage them. Today's episode is brought to you by Simply Safe. Simply Safe is #1 in home security. Nope. Yep. Simply Safe is #1 in home security because of how simple and affordable it is. You don't have to have a technician come. You can do it all yourself. You don't have to sign up for a boatload of money and be locked in for like years on end. No long-term contracts. You can do it all yourself when they mail you all the different pieces. There's like a thing for your doorbell. There's a centerpiece for an alarm. There's sensors that you can put all over your house, and they're all easy to set up. You can do it in like under an hour, and it will defend your home from intruders. It can notify authorities and fire department if there's a fire, if there's a flood, if there's some sort of damage. Medical professionals, if there's an emergency. It's no hidden fees, no frills, no nonsense, just the coverage and the safety you need. And it all starts at just $15 a month. U.S. World and News named it the best overall home security of 2020. So if you value your life, your loved ones' lives, the belongings you spent your hard-earned money on, and who doesn't, try Simply Safe today. You go to simplysafe.com/KFC radio, SIMPLI, safe.com/KFC radio. Get free shipping and a 60-day free risk trial. If you're a new homeowner, you're going to need this. Just throw us a bone. Do the right thing and help us out. We'll help you out. Everybody stays safe.
Great time to buy a home.
Great time.
Great time to buy a home. Mortgage is all time low.
Are they? What are the rates at, John?
I don't know. I just know I saw that headline. Also, I saw that the rent in New York has decreased for the first time in a decade.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it went down
Like
$65.
Yeah.
It went down $50. It was $3,650. It's $3,600 now.
Yeah. I mean,
what does that do for
drop
me?
in the fucking ocean.
What does that
I remember
do for
when
me?
I was like
That's
haggling.
That's the average.
I was haggling over my first apartment rent and like doing that. Like, they were like, it's gonna be like $1,450, and I was like, $1,425. And like we were right, it was like all gonna fall apart. And I had a friend of mine who wasn't gonna move in the apartment with us, who was like, I'll give you guys the extras like $75 a month. It was like $25 for each of us. I was like, What are we doing?
Well,
You're gonna let
it's-
this beautiful apartment go and not gonna have an apartment in the city at the age of like 24 for $25 a month? You fucking idiots! But any little bit, as long as it's not going up. Not going up is the win. So anything going down is like
That's true. That's true.
small victories when you are. I mean, New York is fucking nuts.
Why?
The rent is nuts.
Oh, the rent is insane.
Yeah.
Even when I saw that, I was like, "What the fuck? This is what we pay."
And you gotta like, you have to earn 100 times the rent, 40 times the rent in your bank account, whatever. It's like I just want a fucking roof over my head. God.
Well, I
damn.
mean, like I saw like the numbers; they're insane. But like, what percentage of every state is facing eviction this month?
Oh yikes.
It's like most states, 50%.
Yo, those are the not unintended, but like unforeseen consequences for like the average person. Like you're not thinking about the fact that there might just be like mass evictions, mass homelessness, or mass, people on the streets or scrambling.
But if
like-
everyone's getting evicted, like you're not going to get someone new in the apartment.
well, that's why I
also, I think it's hard to evict someone. That's what I've heard.
Well, I know for a fact it is. Like, especially if you have kids and stuff, if you want to like go through the process, you take them to court and like that you can drag it out for like 6 months that you're not getting rent. Like you're nuts if you're a landlord who like is going to go through with it. It's much better to just settle because you'll be tied up in legal proceedings and not getting rent for 10 times the amount of missing a month here or there. But it always just made sense to me with coronavirus that like everybody just press pause. Like you need your money to pay your bills. So I understand like my rent money is helping pay your mortgage or whatever. But if you don't have to pay your mortgage, then I don't have to pay the rent and we all just like chill until this is over. I guess that's just like a communist way of thinking where it's just like everybody stop with the money and the bills. But it does seem like the better option. I saw Dan had the idea on PMT, everybody take a pill where you all just go to sleep at the same time for 2 months. Like but,
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, that's about the only idea. That's the only thing that's going to stop.
I mean, it's a more advanced pause, but it's a pause nonetheless.
But actually, I keep saying this, and it's like, no, you don't need any of this. You just do what all the other countries did. No deaths in Sweden. No sports back everywhere. It's just us. Just us.
I mean, sports are back in Canada. The NHL has like 4,000 tests, 4,000 tests, no positives.
Zero
It's
positives. I still
just
don't know if I believe that.
hanging out in Canada. It's
Probably
fine.
so much fun.
I have a bone to pick with the NHL though.
Do you?
Yeah, we kind of touched on this in the rundown,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna take it a little further here. The NHL is obviously playing in a bubble. There are no fans in the stand. It actually looks pretty cool because they have the seats set up so you can't see a ton of empty seats like how the NHL, how the MLB has it, where it's like it's just they're covered. They're all covered. So it kind of looks like a TV studio rather than they're playing in like some kind of virtual world rather than an empty stadium. It will be a factor in the playoffs and game sevens and overtimes. You'll notice it then. But like in an exhibition game, it didn't feel as exhibition-y as baseball.
That's got to
was.
be so weird when you think about like a game 7 overtime in the playoffs where it's dead silent for them.
Yeah.
Forget about the fans. Just them. You just hear like there's skates and the puck and like.
I mean,
and then
it's
someone's
gonna
gonna
feel
score.
like a 6 a.m. practice.
Yeah,
Like-
but it's like the most important moment of your life. That's actually I can't wait to see. I always try to look at the positives of this shit, but like someone you'll be able to compare now. Like someone will be like, it was this much easier or this much harder than when I had the fans breathing down my neck.
Yeah.
You'll find out which athletes really tune this shit out. I always thought like when Derek Jeter comes to the plate, like does he ever even like hear or see the crowd, or is it just like him and the pitcher? And we'll find out now. But yeah, so they got the seats covered.
And so the crowd is empty. But since all the games are in Canada and most of the teams are American, they have to do both anthems before games. And it makes no goddamn fucking sense to me. And I think they should not be playing any anthems. And I think they should be using it as a Trojan horse to just stop playing anthems altogether. I do not think an anthem is necessary before a sports event.
Johnny Un-American over here.
I just think it's crazy. I don't think that's a crazy. I think it's like, what does it have to do with it?
That would have probably been the
Especially in sport, or
better
especially
way.
in hockey as a sport, where like most of them aren't American.
Canadian, I know.
And they're just
Russian,
sitting here,
Canadian, they don't give a fuck.
They're European, they're fucking Canadian.
Yeah.
They're sitting here while listening to the American national anthem. And like, why do I need to hear the American national anthem before a game?
Well, I mean, there are some people who love the pageantry of it all, who if they had just said, like if Goodell had just said when there was Kaepernick drama, like, you know what? This is making sports too political. Like, we're just not going to do it. There would have been
Because
like,
it is political.
right.
It's
Absolutely.
It's incredibly political.
But there probably would have been an uproar from the same people who think it's disrespectful to kneel. They would have thought it's disrespectful to get rid of it. But if you could have, like you said, Trojan horsed it with this Corona thing, if it was like, we're just not gonna, because we don't want to have extra proceedings. We don't have them people out there longer than they need to be. So we're cutting all the frills. And then 2021 rolls around. And you're like, we're just
Like
not gonna do it
honestly,
anymore.
if you gave me an option, like what would I want? One more pump up song, like an intro or a national anthem. Like,
But
fucking pump up intro.
I bet you that in certain regions of the country, that answer is not. I mean, because at the same time, I think that you're thinking about it in recent years where it's become a headache and it's been an argument. But I mean, at a playoff game or whatever, like before, if the flag's out and the anthem's playing, that is like a moment when they do the flyover for Army Navy.
Flyovers are dope. They
Yeah.
would do the flyover at the Bruins Canadians Winter Classic at Gillette Stadium. They did like a B-52 bomber flyover.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that thing was going to fucking touch the top of Gillette. It was so
Close.
low and it was so huge. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But like,
So like some people probably feel that way even just about the anthem and the song and the flag. That
who
it's
listens
like
to the anthem
chills
outside of
moment.
before a sports game?
What?
Who listens to the anthem anywhere but before a sports game?
I know, but I think that people associate it with their sports. I think they're like that's their goosebumps
I think that's
moment.
crazy.
Because you know what you have too, like this is why it's not gonna go away. Because like you have that shot of LeBron James with his hands behind his back, rocking back and forth in the line with the camera up at him, and like that's.
But what
we
if they
love
were
that
playing
shit.
fucking?
Yeah,
and he was just like, that would be so much sicker.
Pump it up.
Rather than like a subtle like thing, like if he was just like, let's fucking
Yeah.
go, baby.
I
that
know.
Would be,
I'm with you because I'm
like, all right,
just sick
what's
of the
new
argument.
national
But
anthem?
oh boy, the new national anthem. I mean, we could just go jock jams. I mean, there was that movement to make it the international players anthem. You ever see that
No.
meme? It's like a checklist of like all the things that are good and bad about each song. It's pretty funny. It needs to be something that's like kind of universal, right? That like everybody's gonna know.
Yeah.
It needs to evoke like a vibe of like, we're awesome, we're gonna win, or like this is important at least. I don't know.
I'm like getting jacked up just thinking about it. If you could just sit there like just getting fucking going, like a fighter, but like in the corner
Yeah.
before a fight, like you just had like big music going,
Yeah.
and you just bouncing back and forth, staring at each other.
Yeah.
that would be so
Right.
like a fucking Jets and Sharks. Like, here we go, baby.
Oh yeah, the badass Jets and Sharks. Let's fucking dance it out.
Bam, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. Dude, that would be so sick if it was just like basically if every game just starts with like a dance off.
Oh yeah, Middle America's gonna love that one. Get rid of my stars and stripes, and now we're gonna have a ballet showdown.
Bro, imagine if like they were just like everyone's in their end just getting rowdy.
You know what? It
Like,
reminds
it's
me
like,
of
All Blacks.
It reminds me of when the Eagles used to come out to Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah.
And they were all hopping, and the crowd was going
That
wild.
was I mean,
I would
tell
be
this
down for
story
Dreams and Nightmares to be the anthem.
every time Dreams and Nightmares comes up. I tell this story. It was the Super Bowl 51, I think, whatever it was, Pats Eagles, and they came out to Dreams and Nightmares, and there was fire all over the place. And me and Hank were sitting in the Patriots family section, and we were fucking going nuts. And I looked over, and I saw Brian Flores' brother also going nuts. And I was like, oh, shit, we're fucked.
I think you could give 15% of that Super
Yes,
Bowl
by the way.
to Meek Mill and Dreams and Nightmares. I genuinely really mean like that. I think that what's your most ridiculous but in your mind serious sports take that you have? Like in my mind, Meek Mill and Dreams and Nightmares played an actual integral part in that Super Bowl, and if that song didn't exist and the whole Meek Mill thing didn't happen at that time, I don't know if they win that Super Bowl.
I agree with that.
And I know in my head that's kind of silly, but in my heart I really believe it.
Mine is very similar, and people get very mad at me for it. And I think it's also very correct. 2013 Red Sox do not win the World Series if the Boston Marathon doesn't happen.
See, I would think that, but if the Yankees couldn't pull out Game 7 of the World Series in 01,
But this was a different thing. This was like the start of the season. And like
So
it
the
gave
whole-
it,
like,
it
oh,
was something
yeah, I
to
see what you
rally.
mean.
It,
So
like brought camaraderie to the
yeah.
team, and like they were like, we have a common enemy.
right.
It's like
and Ortiz,
to bring the
this is our
city
fucking
back.
city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's different. It was different. Like that was like the end
Right
of the
at the
season,
end.
right?
Yeah.
This I think, and it's not like look if I was given the option for the fucking
not
pick
to happen.
one,
Yeah.
I don't want them to win the World Series.
Right.
But I think that they were like, all right, we're fighting for Boston.
Especially,
now.
I mean, the Red Sox, almost all the Red Sox
because
championship
that team
teams.
had no business being anything.
Well, they all had they always had a thing to rally around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the first time it was the curse. 07 was the Idiots.
No,
That was
Well,
04?
that was like 04. Yeah,
That all kind of.
07 's kind of the
Beards?
forgotten one.
When was the Beards?
Blood, Sweat, and Beers was 2013.
So that was like the same
thing.
year.
Yeah.
So they had like their identity and rallied all around that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I feel like you're being naive. If you don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember I wrote a blog about it a long time ago, and people were furious with me.
Well,
Like,
anytime you mention these things, it's like when I said that like the death toll surpassed 9/11, and this is like a new tragedy. People are like, "Whoa!" It's like I'm literally talking about just numbers and facts here, but you just can't mention certain things to people. But it's like if you were there and you lived it and you experienced it, we can't talk about these things. It's crazy to me. But
I mean, that team came in last place the year before and last place the year after.
Right.
They won the World
and
Series
right
in between.
And that's what the Red Sox do, though, right? They stink now. Jesus Christ.
stink.
All right, so we got
They stink so bad.
we got a couple interviews today. We got Heather McMahan, who's fucking hilarious, and she's breaking down the Free Britney movement. She was the whistleblower, if you will, the person who put the Free Britney movement on the map like a couple years ago now. So she is the ringleader to try to get Britney Spears out. We got
Ben McKenzie.
Ben McKenzie on to talk a little OC and some of his. I mean, we're two guys who didn't watch the OC, but you just know when you're in the presence of greatness. Like you just know this is the dude who, like, girls, as we've been told, girls have masturbated to this guy many times. That was the only feedback we got from girls. Hey, like, we never watched the OC. Can you give us some tidbits on this guy? I masturbated to him in high school. Okay, well,
like literally multiple girls
gonna
in the
be-
office gave us that. I just gave like the girls,
Gonna-
their office girls. That was like, hey, can we help with this interview? Tell him I fucked myself to him.
tell him I would blast my clit thinking about his character in the OC. Yeah, thanks. That's going to be great. I'll say that. You jerks. So a couple interviews coming up. Of course, voicemails coming up. It's Am I the Asshole Thursday, so we got some stories to get into. But first, one of my favorite recent developments in New York City news, if you will. It's brought to you by the Zebra. Very apropos, because the Zebra will help you save money on car insurance, which, if you have been riding a scooter around New York City recently, you may have been in an accident, you may have been hit, you may have crashed, you may have bills to pay and injuries to take care of. And so anybody who's out in New York City right now can certainly use the Zebra. They've helped save over $21 billion for Americans, and by helping you find the best deal possible. And ordinarily, you think it would take hours to sift through all the different insurance companies and insurance rates, but the Zebra is basically like Kayak or Priceline or any of those aggregator websites, but for car insurance, where it puts all the companies, all the rates, all the different packages and policies from over 100 providers in front of you in less than 90 seconds. They'll never sell your information to spammers afterwards, so you're not going to get unwanted calls or emails. This is all just cut right to the chase, save you money on your insurance. You personally can save up to $670 per year using thezebra.com. It's completely free. Go to thezebra.com. That's thezebra.com/KFC. See how much money you can save on your car and home insurance. One of the shortest lived experiments I've ever seen in New York is the Revel Scooter. This was over before I even knew it started.
I'd seen them around. I did not know they were like available to me.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like, I don't know, like something we had to go like a zip car. Something we had to do
You had
like
to rent it.
a little bit more of a production about.
I mean, I knew of Lime,
Yeah.
right?
Scooters.
Something about birds somewhere else. What was the one in D.C. called? Birds, yeah. And then they're in San Francisco, Denver, Washington, a lot of these like kind of fake cities where this idea flies. You can't be doing scooters, and these are like sit down scooters.
Yeah.
This is like you could just rent a. I don't know what's worse. I think the stand up scooter people take a little more seriously because it's like a little bit more precarious. But I feel like people hop on these scooters and they feel like they're on like a motorcycle and they just start whipping.
Well, it's borderline a
But,
motorcycle.
I mean, yeah, it basically is. I mean, it goes like 25 miles an hour.
Oh, that's as fast as it goes? I thought
think-
it went faster.
I mean, maybe I know the stand up ones go like between 25 and 30.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe if it's a
Let's
sit
see
down,
how
it's even
fast
bigger.
Rebels go.
But they tried it in New York City. And yeah, like you said, I think it's like the city bikes where you can just pick them up and drop them off wherever you may be. But right now, with the outdoor bars, the to-go cups with alcohol,
Yeah, it's 25.
but
Oh, no,
dude,
Rebels can go 30.
that's fast.
Yeah.
30's fast. I went 24 on a scooter, and I was whipping up Park Avenue, and it was awesome. But I was like, if anything happens to me, I am fucked. Like, no helmet, no pads, no nothing, and concrete. Like, I would have been screwed. But everybody's out there drinking. The streets are a little like you think that they're like, oh, there's not that many people out anymore. They're not much
it's
like it's
pretty
still
busy,
yeah. And cars are still out there, and Ubers and taxis still drive like fucking assholes. It's still potholes and tiny streets and gridlock traffic, and so there's just been like tons of injuries, 2 deaths, a zillion crashes. Like,
But here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't get. There were 2 deaths.
Right, you gotta break a couple eggs to make an omelet.
40,000 people die in car accidents every year.
Well, but that's the thing. I think that I think cars are necessary. These are not necessary.
I mean, I don't know if they're necessary, but they're a useful mode of transportation.
They're useful, sure.
Like the city
Necessary,
bikes
though?
aren't necessary. You could buy your own bike.
Let's see. Electric mopeds killed 2 people in recent weeks. They're shutting it down to ensure that more people are not harmed by the 2-wheelers. I guess the difference is if you get a license, you take a test, they have deemed you fit to drive it, and like bad shit can happen. This is like Rudy was telling me a story of they were sitting outside at a bar and they watched a girl get on one, and he was like, from Jump Street, by the way she was dressed, by the way she was standing, by the way her body language, he was like, this girl is fucked. And she hopped on and she did the thing where, like, you know, if you haven't ever revved a handlebar thing before, you know, you do it and you panic and you just do it more. So it's and she just went zipping into the back of an Uber and she crashed and she like fell over and it was embarrassing. There's really no damage and she was okay. But he was like, I could tell this had no shot. And that, I think it's more like we're just giving this to, at least there's some sort of checks with cars. This
That's
is like,
fair.
you could be drunk, you could be young, you could be out
The
of shape,
drunk
you
I don't
could
agree
be-
with. The drunk because you can do anything drunk. That's what someone said to me about like the
people
scooters.
are
Like,
averse
people's
to-
gonna get drunk and do it. Like you can just get drunk and drive a car too.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to
get drunk and ride a
bank on
bike.
people,
You-
but
you're not supposed to, so you don't.
yeah, I think that people are just not. They just don't take the scooters like seriously yet, and that's like Revel. I mean, they're probably like, well, what the fuck do we do now? I mean, this was probably like $1 billion initiative, and it's just like, well, a couple assholes died, and now our whole business plan is shut down.
I don't understand that. I don't understand like one death they have to shut everything down because like they have every time like a fucking self-driving car gets in an accident. It's like we gotta shut it down.
Yeah.
Relook at the whole procedure. It's like it got in one accident.
Right. There's plenty of accidents.
Those
all the
fucking
time.
happen. That's part of being on the road when everyone else can fucking drive.
I mean, that's why we open the country, by the way. It's like, you know, some people are going to die. Like, life's got to go on. We got to get our scooters. I think city bikes are a bad idea when I watch people wobbling around on those bikes. They're fucking heavy as shit. You got people who have like their laptop bag. They're in suits and dresses. Girls are wobbling around. I'm watching skinny guys who aren't strong enough, and they're just like blowing through red. I mean, what's the difference there? You know, I mean, you can go faster, obviously. I know the difference, but like these are just like modes of transportation that drunk, unequipped people are using. It's like,
and I'll tell you, the whole industry's going to shit because
the scooter industry.
just the whole transportation industry. Because I'm so sick of fucking Uber.
Are you? You've been on this for a little while though.
Uber's
You've been
just,
team yellow taxi for a minute. I feel like yellow taxis aren't out there right now.
I'm not getting in yellow taxis. I'm not
Yeah.
getting anything.
Yeah.
But in Uber, so hot the other day, I was like, I'll check what an Uber is. Like 12 minutes to get to my house. What the fuck am I gonna wait 12? What am I gonna do?
Well, I-
stick my thumb in my ass? Like, what am I gonna do for 12 minutes?
I don't know. Seems like a good alternative.
And then the Uber. There was a time back when I was young when an Uber might as well have been a chariot. That thing showed up, and you were like,
It did your
king.
bidding.
People were like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, what?
Yeah.
You got
Black car,
this
door
car?
pops open.
This is
and
for
also, by the
you?"
way, you used to pull it up, and there was just millions of cars right around your block.
Right.
And it was like wait time less than a minute. It was,
I'm
it
already
was like
here.
putting your hand up. It was like, it was just like it
Yeah.
knew it was inside my brain. Now it's
And it was a nice car. That was the big one. It's
yeah.
like now it's
Yeah.
like the guy's gonna roll up in a fucking '86 Corolla.
Yeah.
Now you get an Uber XL. I got an Uber XL to go to Marty's house the other day.
which used to mean like a suburban.
Like a big fucking fat Suburban where you could
Yes.
sprawl out and shit.
Yes.
Fucking candy in the cup holders.
Right.
Fucking
Water
Chargers
bottles and shit
all over the
Yeah,
place.
Yeah, it came with a
This
hand job.
Guy rolls up and I swear to God, 94 RAV4. And he's just like, someone can lay down in the back.
And it's got like the
lay down in the
we can
back.
we can
dude.
strap you to the top, bro.
It's like all you need is like you technically need the third row. There wasn't leg room in the third row.
If you have to
So like someone had to get in the back and, just
and turn
side
sideways.
saddle.
If you don't have a,
For 2.5 hours.
legit third row, it's not
No.
Like, fuck out of here.
If you can eat captain's chairs.
Yes.
And they fucking walk into
you
the
walk
back
in and
the
around.
captain's chairs
Yeah,
here.
if I even have to fold it down to get back there, no.
That's
I need
not
to be
a
able to
fucking
walk
XL,
to
you
it.
goddamn
Yeah.
shitbag.
Yeah, that's some
And by the way, it
bullshit.
costs $300 to get to Long Island.
Woo! Whew. $300? Was that surging at all, or that was just like the cost of doing business?
I mean, I can't imagine anything
Yeah.
surging right now. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. That's not
true.
really Saturday
Well,
surging time.
I would be surging like a motherfucker if I was doing any work right now. I'd be like, if you want me to deliver or pick you up or whatever, and this shit, double the price. But it's all getting nuts. Even like the food delivery, like, I mean, even times when I am not going crazy with the food, it's just like $49 for myself every night. Wait, what?
What
I
is
know there's a
happening?
charge. I know there's a tip. But like, what is going on? And we just take it. We just keep taking it. The quality goes down. The price goes up. We just keep doing it.
It's
Just keep on
it's
doing it.
discernibly noticeable
Yeah.
that, and I said this on radio. I forget where I said things, but the one thing that the food apps have taught me is that there's a reason why, historically speaking, it was just pizza and Chinese that travel because they're the only things that travel.
Nothing else travels.
Nothing else
Terrible.
gets there.
Fries,
Okay.
awful.
Dude, I'll get
Sandwiches,
fucking
burgers.
I'll get Mexican food sometimes.
Oh, that's a sloppy mess, even when it's fresh
It's
sometimes.
a disaster.
Yeah, nachos,
I'm
all
like,
that
this
shit.
sucks. What's wrong with people?
No.
Guess what? Get it tomorrow night.
Wings. You ever try to get wings delivered?
No.
Even if you pick up
That's something I
takeout
have,
wings and
actually.
you just bring them back home by the time you get back. Nope, can't
No.
do it. And you know, some people they poke the hole in the carton and that helps, but it never really works. Pizza can do it. Chinese food almost somehow tastes better.
Yeah.
But everything else fucking shot. We're just that goddamn like
Lazy.
lazy. Yeah. I mean, it really like there's just gonna be a whole generation coming up that just nobody cooks. Nobody knows how to do anything.
I know how to cook. I cook like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
But I only know how to cook with my HelloFresh instructions. I can't.
Yeah,
cook.
that's the thing. You don't know how to cook. You know how to follow instructions.
Yeah.
But we're just a society. It's gonna drive around in old cars, smell like cigarettes with like not even cloth seats. You know those ones that are like corduroy almost with the cigarette burns in it that just smell like shit. That have some obnoxious asshole driving. You're cramming 7 people in because it wasn't really an XL. You're gonna pay double the price that you used to. And rather than going out, you're taking that to go home to then order that same guy who's probably gonna go pick up your food, bring it back 45 minutes late after he eats a couple, and then he's gonna give it to you. It's gonna be a soggy mess, and you're gonna pay,
$3,600 a month in rent.
all for the fucking luxury to be in the concrete jungle. Fuck this shit. Let's go to Texas with Joe Rogan. That's a wild move, by the way. Like, I he's got kids and shit. Like, to just be like, kids, there's no freedom in California anymore. We're going to Texas.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, just I'm moving to Texas for more freedom. He's pieced out on LA and went to like the fucking hills of Texas.
As a smart play by him to spin this as freedom when it's clearly taxes.
Yeah, I was thinking that
Yeah,
too.
I'm about
right?
to get $200 million.
But I mean,
we'll go to Texas.
that's a good point. That's a
I
good
need my
point.
freedoms. Yeah, fuck off. I need my money, dude.
That's very true. But yeah, life is a fucking catastrophe. Let's do a little Am I the Asshole, eh? There's a couple good ones that I think we both like flagged as necessary for today. We'll start out.
By the way, before we do ATI,
Mhm.
AITI, I got to give a shout out to the Detroit Lions real quick. I just opened my Twitter feed and saw that I tweeted this. The Detroit Lions tweeting an eye emoji with the plexiglass between the lockers is one of the most outrageous tweets I've ever seen on the internet. It is crazy how many things we do just for show.
Yep.
Where it's just like, yeah, this is just like, don't worry, guys, we solved it. Like,
Don't worry.
None of us are going to
Coronavirus
get
is
sick.
fixed.
We have plexiglass between, like, sure, we're going to go play football against each other afterwards.
We'll be breathing into each other's mouths
Yeah,
for
we're going
fucking
to tackle
60
each other and
minutes.
we'll shower together and all that shit. But
But if
while-
we're sitting together tying our shoes,
we're
when we're
good.
putting on our jersey or tying our tie, we're
And like,
good.
I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. I do plenty of things that just so it's not like, so it makes it look like I'm doing something.
Yeah, I mean, that's even
And
kind of what the masks are at some point. But
I get it. But I mean, the eye emoji.
But that's
where
the
it's
thing.
Look what we got going
Like
on
doing
over
your
here.
doing your victory lap. It's like when they said no more jersey exchanges and like high fives at midfield after a game. I get it. It's unnecessary. Let's limit anything that is unnecessary. Sure. But then don't also tell me that like that's the plan, because you have to address the idea that there's going to be linemen like in each other's faces the entire
like
fucking
breathing
game.
in each other's face.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch those NFL films when in the Super Bowl when it's cold out, like you can see their breath literally going into each other's mouth. So let's talk about that before we talk about plexiglass in the fucking locker.
I mean,
Jesus
if you want to be
Christ.
about it, fucking give them all those fucking bouncy things that we used to do. Remember we had that? There's that video of me just destroying interns back in Boston.
the bouncy
you know the
things?
bubble things.
Oh yeah,
It's like me like smoking like Dana.
I always
and-
thought there should be some sort of like professional.
it's
That's got to
wild.
get
You
worked
can-
in there.
You can
fuck
you
somebody
can
up.
rock people.
Yeah, and then when they get stuck, they're like a turtle on their back. They can't get up. There should be some sort
but,
of
but
like
you hit people so hard they don't get stuck. They keep
they
rolling.
bounce right. Yeah.
yeah.
What if they did like an XFL meets the those bubble things like. You pick like your two biggest, strongest, fastest guys, and they just got to rock each other with the bubble
I
and
think
see
they
who's still
pop.
standing. Yeah,
I think they pop.
you know, they can
like,
make like industrial strength ones. That
if
like,
you have like professional athletes, I feel like they
yeah,
pop.
I think they have perfected this. It's called pads and helmets. Like, okay, just run into each other now.
Well, I don't know if they perfected it.
Definitely haven't perfected it. They've made it a little bit better. All right, this is one that both of us flagged as necessary. So, am I the asshole for refusing to RSVP to my sister's wedding because I'm required to write a, quote, application essay just to attend? Now, my first reaction was like, fuck this. But it's also kind of a flex. So, sister's getting married in February, destination wedding. Because of the pandemic, her original venue made her cut down on guests. So it's cut down by half. So she's sending re-invites asking everyone to RSVP again. But in order to figure out who makes the cut, she's asking everyone to submit two 250-word essays to two different questions. The gist is that they'll use this essay to find out if they, to gauge people's enthusiasm. People who don't want to write the essays will be automatically disqualified. And then I guess the people who do write it, they're going to judge based on what you write. I just feel insulted by all of this. Why do you still want to celebrate? The questions aren't even pandemic related. It's broad topics like, why do you want to celebrate this day with us? What will attending our wedding mean to you specifically? She told her straight up, I am not writing 500 words on why I need to attend her wedding, spend my own money on hotel and tickets, plane tickets, and buy her a gift. This has really rubbed her and my parents the wrong way. She said that to keep things fair, if I don't fill out an RSVP correctly, I won't be saved a spot. She said, fine with me, bro. So am I the asshole for staying stubborn on this? I'm already annoyed at the thought of spending thousands and coming home to quarantine, but I will not write the 500-word essay. She's 27, by the way.
And this is a brother?
Sister.
Love it on everyone's account.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what I mean. I'm like, I get it. It depends on which side you're on.
I think a sister should be in.
Yes,
You
I
should
agree.
be in.
I
Now
agree.
to keep everything fair, like it sounds like these sisters maybe don't like each other.
Yeah.
But I love the idea for a regular wedding. I'd never been.
Well,
I would have never
here-
gone to a wedding in my life at this
Yeah.
point. But
See,
I
I
think
think-
it's smart to. Well, you gotta pay for a party of people who don't actually care about you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think if you are using that as a device to weed people out, it's pretty brilliant. If you're using it to be like, I'm actually going to sit here and read these and determine who's most important to me, then I think you're kind of being an asshole.
Oh, if you're like grading, like, this
yeah,
one's an A, that one's a
right.
B
Well, that's, I mean,
minus.
that's probably what's going to happen here to the people. Like, I like the idea of just like, okay, yeah, you didn't care enough to like take this step. You don't make the cut anymore. And that's just my way. It's like the SATs getting into college. You have to have a certain number or we're not even looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't write this, we don't even look at the rest of the resume. So I kind of like that as having like a way to weed people out. Even forget about coronavirus, just like whittle people down. It's like, this shit's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're sitting there reading and being like, okay, well, you know, Peggy here says that she really
I would
likes
let
us
anyone in
and-
who wrote the essay.
Yeah, that's what I
If you wrote anything,
That's what I'm saying.
You don't even, I'm not doing word counts. If you just like filled it out and you're like, you know, I'd really like, I honestly don't know what I would say.
You know what I would do?
I'd come up with some bullshit. I'll tell you.
You know what I would do?
but-
I would do the good old urban legend. I would just write, this takes guts.
Yeah.
This doesn't even make any sense. The question wasn't about guts. What are you talking about?
This is
This
a
is-
risk.
Yeah, this is what the wedding means to me. What? I don't get it. But I submitted something. But I would never do this as a guest. But I think it's a flex to do it as the host. Be like, yeah, prove it.
I think I love it. I think I
gonna
would
do
not,
this?
I wouldn't go to the wedding.
Are you going to do this when you get married? If you love it, put your money where your mouth is. Fucking DBQ essay, bro. Cite your sources, bibliography.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
You know what you don't know what is that a like a worldwide thing? DBQ essay? Do you have that? document-based question?
Yeah.
You don't have that? You're an idiot.
I don't think so.
You know what a bibliography is?
Yes, I know what a bibliography is.
What is it?
It's what you put at the end of it to cite your sources.
Okay, yeah.
That was kind of a shot in the dark.
Yeah, no, you got it.
I almost said it's where you find synonyms.
The good old thesaurus bibliography mix-up.
I caught myself.
That's
Like,
fucking great. Works synonyms. That's amazing. So you can do it if you love it so much.
I no, I'm not gonna do it. But we were actually kind of talking about this earlier today, where it is your special days are hard to navigate.
Yeah,
Because
well, we were talking about birthdays. You mean?
yeah, where it is about you.
Yep.
So like you're making your wedding about you. That's a pretty fair thing. You look like a dick,
Yeah.
but it's also like, I mean, it's your wedding.
I appreciate people who are just like, let's call it what it is, you know? Like when you try to, like, you do the gift bags for your guests and you try to make them, like, accommodate them. And it's like, listen, this weekend's not about accommodation. I'm spending money. I'm traveling. I'm taking my time out of my schedule. It's about you. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And, like, thanks for trying. But, like, let's not act like you're bending over backwards. We're the ones bending over backwards for you. So let's just, you know, you want to be a selfish asshole? Let's do this.
250 words, by the way.
It's really not that much.
It's not a lot.
It's, I mean, it's
250 words.
it's you know, a couple tweets.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, let's relax. But
But we were talking about it with the birthday, where because it is like you're kind of a dick if you try and underplay it.
right, it's
And
like
then you're
that-
a dick if you overplay it. The wedding day, I imagine, is comparable to the birthday in the sense that it's
jacked up
it's a
on
fine
steroids.
dance.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
all right, how much can I make this about me? But then if I make it pretend it's not a big deal, then I'm a dickhead too. So like
It's the people from Harvard. It's the I went to school in Cambridge.
Right,
It's
right.
like, just fucking say it, because now I think that you think you're hot shit because you have to lie to people. Just tell me where you went to college, asshole. I don't fucking care. But the fact that you're like, oh, I can't possibly say that, they would be jealous. It's like, fuck you, man. When you find out that it's someone's birthday and that they've had many opportunities, just hey, what's going on, man? What are you doing tonight? What's happening? You know, and they haven't told you. It's like, well, now you're like creating a lie for some reason. What the fuck's that
just
about?
admit today's like
It's your birthday. It is
today's
my
Wednesday
birthday,
and it is my birthday.
and like that's it. Don't need any fucking anything else. All right, moving on here. Am I the asshole for calling my neighbor?
By the way, not the asshole.
not the asshole for not wanting to attend,
Not the asshole for not wanting to do that.
but you are. I mean, I know what you're saying. I know we're
Not
saying.
the
like-
asshole for not wanting to write it. A sister should get a free pass.
Agreed. But as much as I can spin this and say some of it makes sense, you are an asshole if you make people write essays to come to your wedding. Let's just be clear about that. Am I the asshole for calling my neighbor a cunt after she reported my pet penguin to the homeowners association? That's what HOA means, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
My neighborhood is an HOA. Unfortunately, it's created 10 years ago. 40% of the neighborhood refused to join. But now, okay, nobody cares. I have a pet penguin. Some Brazilian guy had it where I lived, and he didn't want it anymore, so he gave it to me. He said he rescued it from some abusive owners, and it's unfit to live in the zoo or be put back in the wild, as it never grew up with any other penguins. I have a massive pond in my backyard where turtles and carp and koi live. My fish are way too big for the penguin to eat, so I'm not worried about that. And here we got filtered water for him. He's really happy here. I'm not friends with anyone on the HOA board because they're a bunch of cunts, so I never invite them to any parties or anything I host. Before you call me the asshole for that, the board right now is trying to take away a woman's house because she is 4 months late on her fees. So these people are just assholes. She didn't have money because she needed to have surgery, and these people are still trying to fuck her. So the HOA is a bunch of dicks. There's a woman, Teresa, who actively roams the neighborhood and posts violations on Nextdoor, and she often goes into people's property to take photos. I, of course, am not friends with her either, and she went over to my backyard and was taking photos of my pet penguin in my pond. I heard a bunch of noise. I walked over to see her chasing my penguin around, trying to grab him. I told her she had 30 seconds to leave my property before I forcibly remove her. She left but posted it all in the Nextdoor, and now HOA is trying to find me. They came to her door. She said she slammed it in their face and said, I'm not part of the HOA. Fuck off. And now they're trying to get the local authorities involved because they don't like the pond. They don't like the penguin. And they keep trying to come with like a new compromise. She keeps saying, fuck off. And eventually, let's see, where she's having a barbecue and a couple of the people backed her up, said she's a massive cunt for reporting it. The bullshit violation. She's trying to take away my pets so she can go fuck herself. Nasty cunt.
Jesus.
Yeah, this chick loves the C word.
Oh, it's a girl.
I just assumed it was a girl. It's probably a guy. I don't know. You think pet penguin owners are likely to be guys or girls?
I feel like the exotic animal market is pretty cornered by men.
Men, yeah. I mean, there's the Carol Baskins of the world, though.
That's true.
It's
they're-
50-50. It was either Joe or Carol.
By the way, this poor penguin. What do you think of a penguin who's never met a penguin?
I
thinks about
know.
himself?
He's got to be like, what the fuck is this? Am I the only one? He's
Like-
looking at his fucking flippers and his feet, looking in the reflection in the pond. Like, nobody looks like me.
There's absolutely. I've never seen anything that remotely looks like me in my entire life.
And this, I mean, penguins are cold weather, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes, definitely. But I think they can last
Elsewhere, but he's
Probably
probably
like you can see him at a zoo or
Right,
at an
right.
aquarium.
but
where
it's not
like
it's
freezing.
not like perfect for them. So he's probably like always a little uncomfortable and doesn't realize why. Never sees anybody who looks like himself. Has Teresa chasing him around the backyard.
Penguins, by the way. Let's not forget we've seen video. Penguins are not to be fucked with.
No, they're
Penguins will
they're
fuck
like
your day,
koalas
yeah.
and shit and pandas. Oh, they're so cute, and then they will fuck you
They got
up.
teeth. on them.
Yeah. They have those beaks, but they're cute because they find the mate and they like live. You know, they're monogamous and they have the baby and they protect the egg and all that shit. So people like the penguins. I mean, penguins don't make noise. They don't like.
They don't make any noise.
I don't
They
think so.
definitely make noise.
I mean, I'm sure they make noise, but I'm saying it's not like a barking dog.
Yeah.
What noise does a penguin make? Okay. Okay. Probably something like that. Yeah. I think it's probably like a quack. It's probably between like a quack
Quack and a
and a
yell.
bar and a what?
And a yell.
Okay. Oh, now they're talking.
I mean, fucking A. He had to learn how to communicate with something that he could, I don't know, just befriend.
It's like, listen, I'm not a penguin, so I might as well be a human.
I want to write a fucking movie about this guy.
Could you
The
imagine
only penguin on the planet.
the loneliest penguin? Do we have any penguin sounds? Let's pull it up. That's not real. That's not real. That was like beatboxing. He was like,
Sounds like
No
a
way.
robot.
That sounds like he's got like a horn. Like,
Okay, new segment real quick. Close your eyes or face the other way. Nick, pull up random animal sounds
Yeah.
and we try and guess what they
I
are.
like this. I like
Oh,
this.
I
a
already
lot.
know what I'm doing first.
While he pulls this up, I mentioned this last night on the Mets post game. Did you know that a natural predator of moose is the
Meese.
orca whale?
Really?
That moose will go like leg deep into water, like up in Canada or whatever where they live.
You just saw it.
Play it again.
Camel.
One more time. That's some sort of. That's an ostrich.
Giraffe. Son of a bitch.
You were close. That was closer.
I thought it had some Middle Eastern vibes to it.
Yeah, it did sound like like in a bazaar, like in an open market.
Right.
Like, right? There's like a snake whisperer or whatever those things are called, snake charmer. Pull up another one. Another one that you don't really. You know, it's funny. Like even like dinosaurs. You know, we don't know what dinosaurs sound like. Spielberg made that up.
Yeah. It is.
Right. They might have just been like, "Hey, I'm a dinosaur. I'm gonna eat you. I'm a T-Rex."
Zoo animal sounds.
So it's in a zoo. So it could be any animal at all. Hippo.
I was gonna say hippo. Alligator.
Gator.
That one was scary when it had that. Do that one more time. I was like, "Arr." That was like a growl. That was
Alligator.
that was my first thought.
That sounds like a water cow.
Is that what a hippo
Oh,
is?
water bull. Water bull.
I don't even know what a water bull is.
It does
Water
nothing.
buffalo?
It just sounds like a bull.
you're
It just
making
sounds
up
like a bull in the water.
Okay. I thought that was a real animal. Yeah, we don't know our animal sounds, huh?
No. One more. I want to get one.
I don't think we're gonna get any.
All these are pretty easy. Hold on, let me find one.
All right. Expectations are pretty high.
I know. It's like I promise you, whatever you were gonna play there, we might not have gotten. You know. Sound like a
Wolf. Wolf.
no. It was like a howl. Is that a? I'll stick in the same family. Is that like a coyote?
It's moose.
Moose getting eaten by a whale. Orca whale's killing me. What sound does a rhinoceros make? That's got to be very dinosaur-esque. So whatever they sound like is probably what dinosaurs sounded like.
Why a rhinoceros? Oh,
Because rhinoceroses.
That's a dog.
That's a rhino? Wow. That sounds like a pussy animal. I guess it's a baby, but... That sounds like a cow.
Oh, you whiny little bitch.
Yeah, boy, that's not a good look for dinosaurs. Shit. How about the moose, though? Imagine watching a whale eat a moose.
No.
That's orca whales
You
are
got-
such motherfuckers.
That's like a kamikaze, because you might get beached just to get a moose.
No, they're like, this is what they do. They do it usually to seals. Seals like sunbathe.
Yeah.
And orcas are like, they're known. They pop out of the water, they get you, and then they do the shimmy and get back in. So they're like good. I mean, yeah, I guess you could get beached, but this is what they do. They go pretty shallow and they just fuck shit up. They are nasty, nasty animals. We should just kill them. I would orca whales extinct.
Oh, we're working on it.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't done it yet. But like the fact that they're in SeaWorld is just like Free Willy really fucked.
Bro, have
Free
you
Willy
ever seen
fucked the
that
world
picture
over.
of SeaWorld? That's so sad.
What, when they're like trapped in the fucking
No, it's just a picture the size of the whale
pool
tank
compared to the
parking
ocean
lot. No, compared to the parking lot.
Jeez.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I would guess it's 1/16 the size.
Yeah. Well,
Like
but
the-
guess what? It's like, it's a jail cell because you're a fucking murderer. You are an evil animal.
They're not murderers. They just eat food.
They do it for sport. They do it for sport. They're the ones who throw it up in the air and shit. You're
Are
not
you
doing
saying
that.
they actually do it for sport, or
I don't know, but I think if you if you eat an animal and you throw it up in the air and you're fucking with it, that's for sport.
Kevin, I fuck with my food all the time.
If it was alive, would you?
Probably not.
Yeah, because you're not a psychopathic murderer like the fucking orcas are. Free Willy, fucking kill Willy, extinct Willy. Christ. Anyway, who's the asshole? And another thing about penguins, giving an animal wings and not letting it fly. Like somewhere in the fucking Noah's Ark or when God was making animals, the penguin pissed him off. Or like somebody pissed off God when he was making a penguin and he was just like, fucking, this thing can't gonna have wings, it can't even fly. Fuck him. That's just so rude. What can you do with wings if you can't fly? You don't have fingers, you don't have opposable thumbs, you don't have claws.
Yeah, penguins are
You
just an animal, and they're both wearing those things that players on base wear now to slide.
Yeah,
It's just
I
like
hate
here,
those things.
here, you can't fucking-
Permanently. Permanently, you have, I guess they're kind of like fins, but not really. They're kind of fins, kind of wings. You can't do either of them very, very well. Fucking poor penguins, man. Until they like eat you and your dog, and then it's like, yeah. I think but my point was, I think that penguins kind of keep to themselves, and if they're not bothering anybody else, fuck out of here, homeowners association.
I think you're
this
an
also might be one of
asshole.
the fake ones, by the way.
I think you're an asshole if you have like exotic animals. So just have a dog.
I agree.
Shut up and be normal.
List of acceptable pets. Give it to me right now.
Dog.
That's it. Will you allow a cat? I'll allow a cat because you have to allow a cat. Because we're not cat
Yeah.
people, but a lot of I mean, cat is a clear cut number 2 to dog, and a lot of people love the cats. So
it's definitively number 2. But I just
what about a
cat. Like if you die in your house, your cat's gonna eat you.
Yeah, definitely.
Dog's gonna bark till someone comes.
Yeah, lay down on top of you.
Cat's
save
gonna
you.
just eat you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying they're nice pets. I don't like them, but I can't, in good conscience, call like half the population assholes just for owning cats. I mean, you can call them assholes.
I think it's a strong stretch to say half. I would bet 10% of the population is a cat.
Yeah,
person and a
I
dog
meant
person.
like you're right. But like I mean like the second largest group
Yeah.
is I can't call them. You can call them assholes because cat people are assholes. You can't call them like freaks. You know. I think if you can own a dog, you can own a cat.
I mean, are we talking about like fish and stuff? Like, yeah, you can have fish.
I think of a fish as decoration,
Right,
to be honest.
100%.
So that's out. I think it's it. I think it's dog and cat. I think having any rodents is weird. Even like hamsters and guinea pigs for little kids. Certainly ferrets. I think if you have any other reptiles, you have a turtle is weird. You have a snake, you're a psychopath. I think if you own like full blown exotic animals, you are a complete psychopath. I mean, you own a gator, a tiger, any of that shit.
You're first of all rich. Second
You're
of
very
all,
rich.
psychopath.
Well, or you're. It's funny. You're either like rich or you're like a hillbilly, right?
That's true.
You know, and but either way, rich or hillbilly, you ended up dead. So, dog, cat. That's it.
That's the list.
Anything
End
else?
of
You're
list.
a fucking weirdo for living with those animals. So, anybody the asshole in the homeowners association story?
The homeowners association is definitely an asshole, but you're an asshole too for owning an exotic pet.
Yeah, like you can't just expect to be treated normally when you don't live normally. Like you don't want to have penguin problems.
What's the deal
Hashtag
with
penguin
homeowners
problems.
associations, by the way? Like, where do they
That's
exist?
just
Are
a
they-
power trip, I think. I think
But are they? Where do you find one?
probably like ritzy neighborhoods. It's probably this is probably what. Well, I promised myself I'm not going to get political anymore. So just ritzy neighborhoods, just asshole rich people. I think it's like a condo board. Like it's just people who want to like lord over you and decide like your fate.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say too more. I think it's like they want to keep the neighborhood a certain way so they can decide who can and can't come in. But then you get crazy with like, you can't put this addition on your house. You can't, fucking, you don't get a permit for the party. You can't put up a tent. All that fucking shit. It's the worst. People in the suburbs, once you get a little bit of money and you don't have real problems, you just invent new problems. Oh, I gotta get the permit zoning. What? Just let me build a shed. Why do you fucking care? It's just like, let's make life difficult because it's not right now for us. All right, last one here. We're bringing it back to gaslighting. Like I said, gaslighting is like a girl on The Bachelor said it, and then everybody else in the world has said it, and I think they just use it completely wrong. Anyway, my boyfriend thinks I'm gaslighting him because nothing comes out of my boobs when I'm horny. Honestly, my life is a fucking mess. My boyfriend is a bit of a loner, but it's never really been a problem before. We both love video games, and to him, I'm quite a catch because it's not often you find a pretty girl who likes games. Now, that statement can be taken a lot of different ways, but it looks like a compliment to me. So, most of his life experiences come from the internet, which is fine, but I guess he doesn't really have that balance. Since we started dating, I've been dragging him around with me and taking him to try new things. We've had a couple obstacles. Period of time where he literally spent no attention to me, paying attention to me, and just played video games. And convincing him that smelling nice isn't just a capitalistic scheme. So I, 19 female, and he is 20. So I, 19 female, was ready to lose my virginity to this guy. I really loved him, and overall, he's just an amazing guy. He was also a virgin, so we were comfortable to just mess around. The next day, he's all standoffish and pissed at me. I ask why, and he asks me if I was just pretending to be into it last night. I say no, I was wet, you saw that. I love you, etc. And this, God, I'm so fucking pissed about this. He says you're lying. If you were actually horny, milk would come out of your boobs. I just can't fucking express how goddamn infuriating, awful, angry, I don't know. I just, seriously, like he's never really been in reality or whatever, but dude, for fuck's sake, I'm a bit stunned. I'm in stunned silence right now. And you weren't like, he says, he's like, I guess it's true. He's like, guess it's true if you have nothing to say. I thought you weren't like other women, but you're all the same. I thought you loved me, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, like, I have the man I love, and then I have this bumbling idiot who I also have to deal with, and it's just shitty. Evidently, he's only experienced sex from porn, never thought it out of the ordinary because he's never talked to girls and only has brothers. I tried so hard to explain, but it was like talking to a brick wall. He claimed that I was gaslighting him, that I'm an abusive girlfriend, I'm going to cheat on him, and he was upset. He truly believed that I was this evil fucking bitch. We haven't talked. He's been crying. All his friends are yes men. I think they may have convinced him that this stupid thing was a fact because he wasn't chatting with them much.
What?
I was that bigoted outsider in their eyes who was flexing on them. He always seemed to brush off their remarks, but now he's not. I'm stuck. This is so stupid. I don't want my first relationship to end because my boyfriend was surprised that I'm not one of his hentai girls.
I mean, this dude's a legitimate like incel. Like this is like an actual like incel in real life. Right?
Yes.
An
I mean,
incel IRL, if you will.
this is like, this guy doesn't watch porn. This guy watches hentai. Like it's because if you watch porn,
Yeah, I was gonna say like all
very, very few porn.
For a significant portion of my life, my only sexual experiences were via pornography, and I never thought that milk comes out of your nipples.
You have to search that out. You can find that if you want to. Some people will do that for you, but you got to search it out. That's just not your average, hot blonde girl, big dick. Oh, and then there's milk squirting. No, it doesn't happen. So this guy has been watching weird internet shit, has convinced himself that it's real, or is this just a preemptive breakup move? Like he's just coming up with some shit like.
From him?
Yeah, like
No.
I'm gonna make myself seem crazy. I'm gonna pick out a wild thing. You think this guy just really believes that if you're into sex, you're gonna milk coming out of your boobs?
He's a guy who thought that smelling nice was a capitalistic agenda. He's a fucking incel. He's a psychopath. Like they like honestly, like this dude's deranged for real deranged.
Yeah.
And I
This is free crime. Lock this guy up.
I started this as I was going to say, he who lives in glass houses doesn't throw stones. I
Right.
don't know.
We don't know anything. We don't know about cleaning
female
pussies. We don't know
anatomy.
about diva cups. We don't know nothing. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the guy's got some good ideas. I shared the ideas. I posed the idea recently on this podcast that
What?
nipples should come. So I should know if I'm doing a good job. Your nipples should come. Like, if I'm sucking a good titty, come.
It is something should come.
So
It's bullshit that we're just relying upon your moaning and groaning and your potential acting.
It's-
I need a proof positive way, like, yeah, that came out of you from one of your holes.
got one nip. Boom.
Yeah.
Done. On to the next. I mean,
My cum nip.
Run this idea. I'll run it back.
Yeah, we'll
Suck
run that
this-
up the flag.
Suck
Girls.
this titty, come on to the next titty, get that
Boom.
to come.
You can still
Then
get
we-
multiples.
Then we go to the vagina. That's how it should go down.
Run this up the flagpole at the monthly meeting, girls. Like, all in favor? Should we start coming out of our tits? Yay or nay? At the homeowners association meeting.
Like I don't want milk, but just like I don't know.
I think it's gross.
A little something.
When I
don't-
see that in porn, lactating stuff, that's like
I've seen very.
that is a
little of
line
it.
I
Yeah.
absolutely draw. I will not. I don't even watch that at a morbid curiosity. I watch anything at a morbid curiosity. I'm not curious about milk boobs. Nope, not me, sir. Don't need it.
But
I don't like
it's-
nipples in general. I don't like nipple stuff.
Oh, I like a good nipple.
Nah, big nipples, long nipples gross me out. Wide nipples, dinner plate nipples, clamps on the nipples, touching the nip. Nope.
No,
I'm
not a nipple guy.
Not a nipple guy. It makes me think of udders.
I was gonna say yeah, I like a good cow too.
Oh God, I like a good cow. This guy. But what's the gaslighting is that again, this is like not the proper term here for gaslighting.
It's just like he's calling you.
It's a
liar.
disagreement. Yeah, it's like yeah.
You're not
Like gaslighting is when you do
I'm
like
trying to think
a subtle
how he would think she's. I mean, I guess he could think he's gaslighting her by just lying
but,
about
yeah.
something
But
that's true.
gaslighting needs to be the whole idea was this guy who slowly turned down the gas on the light and said and drove her crazy by saying nothing was changed. It's got to be repeated behavior that's subtle that like influences and establishes like a power dynamic.
Right.
Just having a disagreement about a wildly incorrect fact.
Yeah,
Not
it's
gaslighting.
But this is insane. This is a psychopath. We're talking about a man who doesn't live in. Like she said in that thing, he doesn't live in reality.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah.
This guy is.
I mean, by the way, we're talking about a 19 and 20-year-old person.
Right.
So like this is silly. We're talking about children here. But
This is your stereotypical gamer. This is when people talk about gamers. This is who they think of.
right. I saw a Slate article that said, I think my daughter is in a polyamorous relationship. And the title of the article was basically like, are teens capable of being in poly relationships? It's like, I think they should be exclusively in poly relationships. I think it's incapable for them to be in monogamous ones. Yeah. They should all be fucking each other and coming out of their tits on all sorts of people, But gaslighting is funny because for years, we dominated. Men dominated the relationship argument game by saying, you're being crazy. It was our go-to, and it's true a lot of the time. And then in recent days, in recent years, girls have combated that with you're gaslighting me. And now it's a fair fight. I think gaslighting is bullshit. I think that you're all misusing it. I think that when you do something crazy, you kind of know it, but you just say you're gaslighting me. But now it's a fair fight. So like now we got to each dig deep. We both threw our fastball. Now it's time to go to our secondary pitches. Because you have your way to say no, and now it's like, all right, let me articulate better. Because when girls, I mean, it's in their mind, it's a free pass to do something crazy. You're not crazy. He's doing it to you. No, I swear to God, it's you. I swear to fucking God, you're crazy.
I've said that before. That there was the wait, I forgot what I was gonna say.
That was great. It
was so fleeting. It was so fleeting.
And I got
that there's I said it on Schnit Talk. I've said it on this podcast before, where that like at some point, because in the new Taylor Swift album, there's a song where it's like, she's not crazy, you made her this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I get that how people treat you influences how you act. But at some point, personal responsibility comes in.
Have to.
Like, I understand that. And again, it's something I've talked about where like I have regrets about things. Like I don't call people crazy anymore because I don't want to contribute to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like, I don't do that anymore. I'm not like, you're being crazy. I if you're being genuinely crazy, like that's a different issue, and I'm not gonna make fun of that.
Yeah,
but I choose
disagreeing with how you act in the relationship is not like you're crazy.
Right.
Come up with a better way to. Yeah.
I choose my words carefully now with that stuff. But at some point, there is personal responsibility,
Yes.
and you have to handle it like an adult.
I think that we come from. I've seen a million memes recently. I feel like the world is finally like catching on to it. That it's like guys don't grow up learning how to handle emotional. What's the word? Responsibility, emotions, really.
Yeah.
And
Hey, adult, be a man.
right.
Like, all right, fuck
Yeah,
it.
so I'm just gonna push this deep down into my asshole and just not talk about it. But I think that girls can sometimes be like crippled by like you're handling it almost too much. Like everything is a thing, and everything is like what your therapist says, and everything is how you need to like address. It's like somewhere in the middle, because I think you can. We're not doing it right, but I think you're doing like too much, and we can just like try to be normal people somewhere in the fucking middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll still definitely throw around the big C. I'll definitely. I mean, if you're crazy, you're crazy. But the big C and the big G, gaslighting. That's the unstoppable force, immovable object.
I'll tell you what, girls are evening it up a lot nowadays. Because I was out with my girlfriend Casey the other day, and they met new girls, whatever. And I swear to God, I sat at the table for 45 minutes, staring blankly.
You didn't have anything to contribute.
While they all screamed about murder podcasts.
Yeah.
And
That's sports.
It's the new sports.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea
Right.
what you guys are talking about.
I used to say that reality TV, Kardashians, Bachelor, that's like their version of sports. I think it's the true crime podcast.
It was
the murder
all
podcast.
true crime and murder and conspiracy theories.
Because they have their stats too. They're like, he killed 47 and raped 92. And yeah, they get fucking revved up about that.
I got congratulated for how good I am at just checking out.
Yeah.
They were all like, John's so good at just shutting up and sitting in the corner.
I'd so much rather do that than talk to you.
I just stared blankly. I was just like this, just like sitting.
Give me a drink. And
It was the day when there was like the fucking apocalypse here.
Uh-huh.
Like the weather was like crazy.
Yeah.
We were sitting in an outdoor bar. And I was just sitting alone under a tent while people were screaming about murder podcasts, and lightning struck like fucking 10 feet from me. And I was just like, not gonna move.
Dude, that's so funny to think of. Just girls being like, yeah, he killed her because she was gaslighting it. No! All right, let's get into our voicemails, and then we'll bang out our interviews. Nikki Hams, Mushroom Nikki, Bunny Rabbit Nikki, what do we got?
What's good, KFC? No, I was just thinking, with this whole
I don't
MLB
think so, no.
season and the Marlins and the Phillies, like possibly being exposed to COVID. What are your thoughts on maybe having like a Hunger Games style season where, if there's a breakout, that team's just out, and just go until there's either like a World Series or go until there's one team.
I'll take it a step further, because we've got the American League and the National League, and if you take out one, you got to take out the other. So I think it's almost like the MTV Challenge, where you have like a partner, and if like your partner's out, so are you. So the Marlins have to be paired with, let's say, who's like the absolute trash of the AL right now.
Just go White Sox. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, White Sox, yeah.
Fucking White Sox. That fucking team. It's probably just part of working here. Like, last 4 years, I've heard, like, that's the team to beat this year.
I know. White Sox fans are Mets fans without the absolutely required pessimism. Like, why do you think you're going to be good? We're terrible. We're bad franchises. We always will be until we get new owners, until we do things differently. You're never going to be good. So, yeah, Marlins and White Sox, both worst teams in their respective leagues. So if, like, the Marlins get cut, like, so do you. You got to go. Because you got to keep it all. Because if you're going to be handing out, I think that if you get rid of the Marlins, everybody gets automatic wins on the schedule and just get off days or whatever. But you can't have that really with the AL. I mean, I guess you could, because it's all kind of separate. But I think it should be
also
like,
you could, because it's. I mean, the bubbles are different. Not bubbles, but because they're not bubbles. But just like.
Yeah. Is there any There is interleague though. Right. So you would have to.
East.
Right. So maybe you would have to just kind of, whatever it is, whether it's league, region, however it's balanced. I can't really picture it in my head right now. I think you have to like keep it even on both sides. So like, you're gone, we're gone.
If
And
you
you could be COVID
further,
free, but it's like, sorry, you should have been better. You're tied to the Marlins because you stink, and they're out, so now you're out too.
How about this? You're allowed to poison the other team. So
Like where that is.
So if a team gets COVID, okay, now, but here's the deal: you can't get COVID to give it to them.
If you get it, How about you have like a designated carrier, like a designated hitter?
No,
You
no
can
one on
send-
your team can have it. So you have to like
Oh, you have to like send like
someone
a
to their
girl
house.
or
or maybe
like
send them like gifts,
Trojan
certificates to a
horse.
strip card,
right,
strip club,
Magic
like,
City Wings type shit. You know,
Yeah, you gotta like Lawrence Taylor it or something like
right.
that. That you can't voluntarily get because
By the way,
one person on your team
could be
gets COVID,
happening
you're
for all
out.
we know.
Yeah,
I mean, I said that like in the NBA bubble, like you know, the Bucks try to like get LeBron. You know what I mean? Send a girl to his place, send a fucking COVID bomb to his apartment, to his hotel room. They'll do it. They're gonna get dirty in the playoffs.
Someone said on NBA Reddit, what if like Giannis and Chris Middleton or something like that before the finals, assuming it's them in the finals, just kidnap LeBron and just push him outside of the bubble.
broke the rules. Got to go
You broke
quarantine.
the rules. You got to go in quarantine.
But
you're out.
they didn't. We
But
didn't.
They didn't
so
go.
we're
out.
good.
Pretty smart idea.
Shit's gonna go down. No doubt.
It's
No doubt.
pretty smart. Imagine that if you just covertly like kidnapped superstars and like it's like a fucking you have one person running the camera, right? And then basically it's sumo wrestling. Like out of the bubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're out of the bubble.
Yeah.
He's out. He stepped out. Out of the bubble.
Blows the whistle. Spiders the ref.
Four-
You're out.
14 days in quarantine.
See you next year. I think like literally, who knows? Like if there was still like the Red Sox Yankees like true rivalry, I think that would be happening. I think people would like covertly be trying to sneak coronavirus into these teams' clubhouses.
I think it's smart. I think if you're gonna do it, right, might as well do it, right?
I actually, all jokes aside, I do believe removing the Marlins is just the move. Just give everybody W's.
It doesn't make any sense.
It really is just like they're
Just gonna
they're a
miss
terrible team.
2 weeks of games.
Yeah, I mean,
One
it's just going to
week at
throw a
least.
fucking wrench into everything rather than just being like, all right, we'll remove the tumor, remove the problem.
You guys all go home.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how that, like I said, with the AL, like they should be kind of playing each other. There's probably going to be issues with winning percentage because you're already missing a couple games, but just fucking do it. It's an unorthodox year. Yeah, half your team, you're going to either be playing with coronavirus or shit players. You're just gone, and now these guys, it's an extra off day where maybe you can FaceTime with your family and not feel left out. You know what I mean? Like
You don't have to face on your family. You get to go home. to your
oh right,
family in
They're not
baseball.
even in the bubble. Yeah, so you get to go home, all that shit. Actually, maybe that's a bad thing then. Like, anything that lets these guys go back and forth more frequently is a problem. By the way, I just love that guy starting off with nah. I love that.
Yo,
But I'm
thinking.
saying. Next up.
Hey, what's up, guys? I got an Am I the Asshole here. So at the start of quarantine, I had to go to the office like 2 to 3 days a week. But after a couple of weeks with my girlfriend working at home, I told her I'd go in every day. In reality, those days, I would just go to my brother's house and get high and play N64. Well, she recently found out. She's very upset with me. We've been together since we were like 14 years old. So I didn't think it was going to be this serious, but she is pretty upset. But when we did work from home, we didn't really interact with each other, so I don't see what the big deal is. And one more thing, babe, I know you listen to the show. I love you. Bye.
I mean, that's a great scam, but you can't get caught doing it.
Yeah, you're the asshole.
Yeah, like you I get it. You probably should have just like gone to work as like, my real cover is like, no, I was at work. I didn't need to be, but I was there. If you really don't want to be home and it's that annoying, A, that's a bigger problem. B, you just cannot get caught because the answer is just like, I just didn't want to be around you.
Right. And
That is tough to spin.
But it's not because it's one of those things where I don't think anyone's the asshole here. Yes, you're the asshole for lying, but it's an understandable thing.
Yeah.
Like I would just say
24 hours a day.
I don't want to be around you anymore.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
hard for
doing
me to
this
get my
anymore.
work done. It's hard to just be in the place the 24 hours. But when you go and you just hang out with someone else, it's just like, well, it could, girls are gonna be like, it could have been us, and you just chose it to be someone else. And
Yeah, but because I'm sick of you. That's not.
good luck with that one.
That's
bud.
not a bad thing to be like. I don't want to hang out with you
See,
anymore.
you know what the problem is in relationships? Girls, stereotypically speaking, of course, generalizing, don't get sick of being around their boyfriends.
I disagree.
They always want to be around their
My girlfriend gets
boyfriends.
sick of me all the time.
You have a normal one. The root of all problems with relationships where you have like the guy who can't, go out or the guy who's in trouble if he goes on like a guy's weekend or whatever, it's because it's a girl who's like, I would spend 100% of my time with you.
I don't think that.
Oh, I think that the main thing I would change about like relationship dynamics is that like when guys get time alone, they're like, fuck, yes. And I think when girls get time alone, it's like, well, like I'll just like I'm on the clock until we're back together with my boyfriend.
I think that's a personal experience.
I mean, yeah, but it's every experience I've ever had. It's not down to one woman. It's just every girl I've ever been around is like,
maybe you're just so intoxicating. Kevin Clancy.
They just always need to be around.
Stop
me.
not having Kevin around.
Yeah, I feel like it's not just me though. I mean, I think it's probably
it's just
a type of guy and a type of relationship. But I know tons of guys who are just like, why don't they want their time alone? Like, why don't they value that? It seems like they don't value it the same way that guys do. So then you're in like this imbalance of like, well, you want to get away from me. It's like, no, it's just a normal, I just don't want to be in the same thing all the time.
I came back to New York to come to the office when like very few people have, because I was tired of being around my family.
Mm-hmm.
I love my family dearly. Tired of being around them.
Right. Those two things can exist at the same time.
It's a fair thing.
Yeah.
And I told him as much. I'm sick of being around
But
you
like
guys.
this girl in this story, is probably like, if she's mad about this, she's probably like, why aren't you home all the time?
Who wants to be home all the time? Who wants to be around anyone all the time? Now you can't lie about it, but you can get it. Yeah. Anyone can understand. Like, yeah, that's. I don't want to be around someone all the time.
I think this, and the bigger issue here is going back to the earlier discussion. I think the correct, mature, whatever thing to do is to articulate this and say, like, I'm feeling a little like smothered. It's hard for me to get my work done. I'm feeling like a little trapped. I just got to get out for a little bit. But we don't know how to do that. And it's like, oh, I feel like I'm going to disappoint you. I feel like you're going to be mad at me. So you just don't say it. And you're like, I'll just lie and go to my fucking brother's
I just
house.
say, yo, I'm sick of you with a smile.
Yeah. I've always commended you for just like, you just fucking say it and don't get in trouble for it. It's amazing. It is amazing. But I don't ever like to give that advice out because I think you're the only person I've ever met who it works for. I don't know anybody else who gets away with it the way you do. Not a one. No, I seriously don't. I do not know one person who is honest with their spouse the way you are. Not a one. But I think it's because we're like afraid to do it, and you just do it, and it's like, see, I told you it would work. It's like honesty is not the best policy.
I mean, I keep my secrets sometimes, but other times I'm just like, look, I'm sick of being with you right now. How about this? I mean,
good luck if you're gonna go down that road. It's a scary one. It's a leap of faith, bro. A leap of faith.
I mean, she obviously gets it. Like, we're looking at like apartments. And she's like, we should get an extra bedroom because you're gonna get sick of me.
Yeah,
Like,
but is it ever like we should get an extra bedroom because we're gonna get sick of each other, or she just acknowledges that you get sick of her, but if it was up to her, you guys would be in the one bedroom.
She said we'll need our space.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
She
Well, I
needs
will.
some time. Yeah, well, I hope so. We better give me space. What do you think that girl's like thinking right now as she listens?
I think we got her side.
Yeah, but it's just funny to like. She's probably just listening, like we're talking about dumb shit, and all of a sudden, boyfriend's voice pops on, airing out their business and shit. Wild. I had a couple couples call in recently. Crazy. Do one more voicemail and we'll get into our interviews.
What's up, KFC fights? Everyone else there. I was listening to today's podcast, and you guys were talking about Bon Iver on this new Taylor record, and I was thinking, I might rather want to be Justin Vernon from Bon Iver over like any other artist he's worked with. All right, so I'm looking at the people he's worked with: Kanye, Taylor, Frank Ocean, Travis Scott, Beyonce, Eminem, like some of the biggest artists of the 21st century. And I don't know if I'd recognize them walking down the street. And I'm wondering, would you rather be these big name artists who get, flocked with people and basically can't have a private life, or be somebody like Justin Vernon who gets to work with all these huge people and can still kind of walk down the street like a normal guy?
I think that's a perfect question, because I think both people are kind of like unhappy and dissatisfied for obviously opposite reasons. Mm-hmm. But like, who was the other guy? Adam Duffner, whatever.
Yeah, I forget how to pronounce
it. He tweeted out that screenshot of Taylor's text the other day. Saw that?
No.
It was just like a text between Taylor and him, and she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited." She sent like a snippet to him. I think his tweet was like, I'm looking back at my text messages from when she sent me the first snippet of Folklore. And then it was also a text message from Taylor writing out some of the lyrics. It was just whatever. The point was, I clicked on his Twitter. He has 19,000 followers. And he just did a whole album with Taylor Swift. And he's probably going to get a bump from this, but he'll get to like 30,000 followers.
Yeah.
And that guy and this Bon Iver guy, Justin whatever, is probably like, you make music to like hopefully blow the fuck up. And then
But
when
Bon
that
Iver
happens,
has blown up.
Yeah, but I don't know Justin whoever,
No.
And
But his
and-
music, like when Bon Iver puts out an album, that's
a big deal,
That's
yeah.
that's a big deal.
But I think, when you're an artist and you get a little bit of an ego and you get a little, like, I do think you want, like, the recognition. You would like to be famous. You do like this, like, to be the showstopper when you walk in the room. And you're not.
It is.
But then when you have it too much, you go, like, literally insane. So I think...
It is 100% a grass is green.
Yes,
situation.
I was just going to say that.
You definitely
because
get like
I think
a little
each
jealous.
side...
You're like, they don't know who I am. Like I'm just...
Yes.
I'm the guy on Exile. I'm the guy with Kanye and fucking
We just
Francis
went platinum or
Lights.
whatever, yeah. But I think each side would undoubtedly switch, I think. Like, I'm so sick of this, and, like, I would love to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I think
But then like, you run into
ultimately-
like you see with the other side, like today with like Kim and Kanye,
They're
where Kim
crying
was-
in the car
She was
and-
like absolutely weeping in the car. And that's a special situation where like, that one I still I can't decide how I feel about it. Like, is that a private moment? Do you get your private moments? Or like do you not are you not allowed private moments because you share so much? Or because you share so much, are you allowed your few private moments?
Say it again. Because they're
Because you
always in the
share so
spotlight.
much, are
Yeah.
you not allowed private moments? Or because you share so much, are you allowed to have your like, yo, this is my one thing?
Yeah, I go with this. I go through this myself because when I started blogging, I decided to be like an open book. I did my kids, my wife, my relationship, all that, and then I've had some fans understand it and be like, you've given us like so much that like you deserve to have like this one thing. But then other people are like, you opened the door, dude. Like you made it about it, and now we're talking about it. And where do you get to draw the line? I think it's more like I think the Kardashians and them. I think they have to know, like, every time they go somewhere, there's paparazzi.
Mhm.
If you're going to be in a car that's not
Even if
tinted
you're in
windows,
Wyoming.
right? You're not. I won't go as far to say that I was staged, although I know like the Kardashians have done that stuff, but they've at least got to be like, not now. Like we'll get home, we'll do this in 15 minutes because somebody's fucking watching. So I think that was just like silly of them. But it gets a little bit much where it's like, even if you are a Kardashian, because I guess I just personally could sympathize with it. It's like, sure, yes. But that doesn't mean like in their lowest moments and their weakest moments, we have to prey upon it, you know? Because they have given so much of their business. Like, just be happy with that. But I do understand the other side of just like, they've made millions because of that, and now they got to deal with the negative side. I get it, but boy, I think that's a tough one. She's like weeping.
It's a big cry. Like she's weeping
an
in
ugly
the car with her husband who's in the middle of a bipolar breakdown.
Yeah, that's like, and that's why you'd rather be Justin from Bon Iver, because it's like, I think ultimately I would pick that because I think what he feels is like jealousy, which almost everybody experiences. What the megastars feel is like,
I feel like a
true
penguin.
insane. I feel like what?
Like a penguin.
Yes, a penguin in a pond in a backyard all alone, a fucking mirror ball penguin, where it's just like I do not believe the human like mind and emotional structure and intellect is capable of like processing what those people go through. So I'd rather just be
I agree
like
with that wholeheartedly.
I'd rather be
That's why
like,
you can't
this
sympathize
sucks,
with them and
but
stuff like that. 'Cause
yeah.
It's like, oh, they're no longer looked at, most celebrities, but especially at that level, you're no longer, you've been dehumanized.
Right,
You
you
are
really
not,
have.
You're a symbol, you're not a human. It's
Right.
just like, so it can be like, fuck you. It can be like, we don't give a shit. It doesn't matter because you don't matter.
Right.
As a human.
Whereas if you're Bon Iver, it's like the guy who has a normal job who wants to be.
I'm going to pull up what Justin Vernon looks like because I honestly have no
I
idea.
couldn't even tell you. Everybody else you talk to, it's like, yeah, man,
I bet
I
it's
wish
just
I
what I
was.
think, by
I
the
wish
way.
I was the manager. I'm picturing a redhead, like a red beard, Portland hipster.
Almost.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not too far off. Oh, he's very bald.
shaved bald or bald
No,
bald?
balding.
Interesting.
Yeah, like here, one of the first, when you Google his name in Google Images, one of the first stories is Rick Ross thought Justin Vernon was some random hippie.
See that? Yeah, I mean that's gotta cut you a little bit, but that is you can relate to other humans. When you have that moment, you can be like, yeah, my buddy, he at work, he wants to be the manager, and instead he's just like a fucking cube monkey. And this person wants to be the star of the team, but they're not. Like there are plenty of people who you can kind of cry on that shoulder and get through that feeling, whereas the other one, you're fucking alone in this world. So give me the modest life over the fucking monster mega life. But also, let me get the Let me get the money though.
Yeah.
Let me get the bag. I'll decide. Okay. Let me decide that one. All right. Time for our interviews. We'll start it off with who do you?
I
think?
mean, Justin Vernon, you gotta let this shit go, my man. First of all, it's Riggsy.
Justin Vernon looks like Harry from Home Alone when he gets his head burned with a torch. Wow, that's bad. Yeah, you gotta bick that one. That's 2019. Jesus Christ.
That's
At that point, you gotta have like a stylist or something. No. Oof. All right, let's get into our interviews. First up, we got Ben McKenzie, Ryan from the OC. So we did a little memory lane. We talked a little OC. We talked about Gotham. We talked about where he met his wife, some funny stuff about Broadway, and his new project on Audible, which is like a theatrical audio podcast. So let's talk to Ryan Atwood. Yes, we did address the death of Melissa Cooper.
and what the future of their relationship would have been.
Right. In his own words, what would have happened to Ryan and Melissa had she not died in a fiery car accident with Hallelujah playing in the background?
I think it was Marissa.
Marissa Cooper. It's obviously two guys who did not watch the OC. We got Ben McKenzie, who is a cult icon.
I don't even think you can't say cult. It's just icon.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
I guess
Like,
so.
a cult is like lesser known. It's,
Yeah,
it's
the
an
OC
icon.
is just straight up iconic material. Gotham with the comic book world, now getting into Audible, doing a new audio original. So you've been a busy man with a long career so far. So thanks for taking the time.
Hey, my pleasure. I love it. I'll take cult icon. I don't.
Yeah, cult or regular.
Let's get
Either
on my
way, me personally, I would just take the
As
word
long as
icon.
it has icon.
Yes,
That's all I
exactly
care
that. This is probably the first interview that maybe you've ever done. I think neither of us have seen the OC.
So we will have no questions for you.
Yeah, we got nothing. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Although I did just watch on YouTube the death of Marissa Cooper and you carrying her out of like the flames, and it's one of the most fucking ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
That it is, sir. That it is. One amongst many, many other ridiculous moments that were captured on film.
But the new project is Freaks, and it's an audio original, which is kind of cool. It's like this scripted podcast storytelling with, a bunch of names, you, Christian Slater, Carrie Coon, so people know the voices. So kind of like I feel that those are the newest form of entertainment, and it's been around for a little bit, but I think it's going to start to catch on a lot more in years to come. So I feel like getting on early is a good move by you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're fun. They're, I don't know about you guys, but I listen to podcasts all the time, like sort of constantly whenever I'm out running or doing errands or whatever. So just, put my kids on screens in the back seat and put my headphones in, and there you go, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Right.
Yeah, these are kind of like podcasts, but with talented people.
You want to come do podcasts with bad people, you listen to us. You want smart people and talented people, go see Ben. Freak.
No. This is just like podcasts with entertainers playing characters as opposed to, wonderful personalities and brilliant gentlemen such as.
Yeah, no, call them what they are. They're good podcasts. It's okay.
It's fun. It's fun. And this one in particular is such a wild story that I really didn't know anything about. It's somewhat fictionalized, but it's 1970s telephone hacking, telephone operators like Southwestern Bell hacking. And I sort of get a chance to send out my detective persona, which I perfected as Jim Gordon on Gotham over 5 years, if I could be so modest. I was able to send that up a little bit. And it's great. And, Christian Slater, Carrie Coons, it's, Justice Smith, great cast. And super fun to do, like fun to play a character where you're in a booth, you're sitting there, you're playing around with things. There's some great direction, some great, fellow actors to work. We didn't record with each other, but there would be a reader with us who was helping us sort of like bounce ideas off of them. So it was fun. I've never had a creative experience like that.
Is it hard to make it sound natural? Like I watched a show on Netflix recently, and it was in German, and for a little bit I tried doing it with like the English dubbed over, and you can tell that it's someone just being like, okay, I'm supposed to sound excited, I'm supposed to sound scared, and you can definitely hear that. And then when you watch a regular show, you can tell that it's more real and natural. How do you even encounter that, or is that something you just know how to do as an actor?
Well, what's great is that you're not dubbing somebody else, right? You're not like taking something that's already on screen and then trying to match your, so all that exists in this, there is no visual. It's just the words. It's just your performances. So it's actually very freeing once I sort of figure that out in my head, which it probably shouldn't have taken this long, but after at least the first day, I'd figure that out. And then it's just like a performance like any other, although the microphone is really your sole means of expressing it. All the other physical stuff you're doing and the kind of the cadences and the rhythms are unique to you. And what's great is that when you're filming something, there's so much, the cameras and the crew and the this and the that, like you get a few takes, you get 3, 4, 5 takes, possibly. With this, you can do it as often as you want. I mean, at a certain point, it's just a question of how bored are you getting with your own performance.
Right. You get that diminishing returns at some point too. You do it over and over again. It's like it's not going to get any better. How long does it take to do 10 episodes?
I think it was a few days.
Wow, that's a good paycheck. That's a good business to be in. You can bang these out, man.
I finished and I was like, "Hey, Audible, anytime you guys want to call me."
Now, I read in the description that it's not like a true story, right? It's based on true techniques, or is the whole story true?
No, the story is fictional, but it's based on real events. There were real hackers who were jumping on the telephone lines and basically kind of like pre-internet communicating and hacking these old dilapidated systems. So this young kid completely turning over like $1 billion industry by just like tapping into a telephone line.
That's wild, because I saw in the description again, it was like hacking the system to make free phone calls. And I was like, I feel like you could have caused more chaos. like just calling Nana for free.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, but I was also like, it was just, thumbing their noses, these teenagers thumbing their noses at the powers that be, because it was a monopoly.
Right.
It was, it's all of the like capitalist stuff that's in the ether right now.
Little conspiracy theorists. Like the intro is like, you're just going to put this thing in your living room and they control it and they own it. So it's a lot of vibes that still I think apply to today,
Yeah, I wonder what they would think about us like having a Siri now.
Yeah, right.
You're just telling them your secrets?
Yeah,
like, what is wrong with you?
Totally. I think previous generations would be shocked at how much information we're all just like totally comfortable exposing online.
Idiots. We're gonna pay the price one day, if not already.
Yep.
You mentioned bringing Jim Gordon's vibe to this. Is that something you really did? Were you like, almost picturing him doing it, or are you just saying that the same type of role?
Yeah, kind of. It was like a great setup, and I think there were. I mean, I was very flattered that they sent it to me, because I was like, oh, I immediately know, what I would do with this, which is, all the cliches of the bitter, detective, who's been around too much, drinks too much coffee, all like, amped up because he's a telephone detective. Right? He's just, he's not the most, demand guy.
Right.
To put it mildly, right? And he ends up getting his ass kicked by a kid, basically, he basically ends up like, what? How does this work? So, it was just a great opportunity to have a little fun and mess around and great casting and cool experience.
Gotham really was, though, like a hit. I mean, the when you get acceptance from like that Batman and comic book world, that you as Jim Gordon and what's the kid's name who plays the Joker? He's unbelievable too. The guy from Shameless.
Yeah, Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, we've had him on the show before too. Those are two roles that when you get, the seal of approval from those fans, I think that's a huge deal. And I know it's, it's not the Marvel movie, but it's like it's in that comic realm, and it's definitely been a hit.
We had a great time making it. I mean, I remember, hearing about the concept from Bruno Heller, who created the show. And I was like, that's great. A detective story set in the world of Batman is awesome. And there's so much great source material. I mean, we were taking from different things, but Gotham Central and Year One, which I lent the voice to for another project a few years prior. Like, there's a lot of like groundedness to the Batman world that allows you to have your cake and eat it too. So it's like a hard bitten detective, but mixed with superheroes. Basically.
You're not very active on social media, so you probably didn't see it. But like when you were announced as like this is going to be Jim Gordon, did you deal with like a lot of people hating it, like hating the idea? Like just because like I feel like I've seen Ben Affleck tell a story. I think I've seen Heath Ledger even tell a story. Just like when they were announced as the cast member, everyone was like, the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You, how the fuck is he going to play the Joker? And Affleck was the same way.
totally.
Like, Ben was like, when I got cast as Batman, like they were like telling me to kill myself before I could ruin the role.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that something you had at all?
I think I was lucky because Gordon is such a everyone's like, oh yeah, Commissioner Gordon. Oh, what a great character. But he's always in the background. Like he's never the emphasis of a series, certainly, even a movie. He's the guy behind the desk who helps Batman take down the bad guys. In this case, you're switching it completely. He's a young guy. He's in the prime, and he's meeting a Bruce Wayne after his parents' murder. So it just flipped the whole thing on its head, which I think saved me from some of that criticism. Not that I didn't get criticism, but like everyone was like relatively polite because I don't think they knew what to expect. It's like, oh, I remember posting the first photo. We did a little hair and makeup camera test thing before wardrobe thing before filming, and it was just me in a suit with a GCPD badge. I buzzed my hair. So it looked like active military, which is what I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, here's Detective Jim Gordon. And the internet was like, like that's so cool. And also like, what? That's not, what? And it provoked that conversation of where's his mustache? And you're like, trust me, you do not want to see me with a freaking mustache. This whole thing's going to become a joke.
You're looking sharp with the scruff there. I like it.
Hey man, I've given up, dude.
I think everybody's given the beard and the long hair a shot, and you found out whether it works for you or not over the last few months.
I think you guys are rocking it too. Well done.
You also get lucky enough to meet your wife. Well, not meet your wife because this was part of the articles that all came out this week, but you kind of re-met your wife on Gotham, and her comments the other day were funny, saying, "Yeah, if you only paid attention to me when I was on the OC, he could have had me in my prime." That's a great line, man. That's an awesome line from your wife.
Yeah, she never will let me hear the end of that.
Was it something where you were like blatantly like blew her off, or like you just never really interacted?
Dude, I have no memory of it.
Yeah, well, that's not a good answer either. That's not good, bro.
But like, it was in passing. It was like for 5 minutes, and like, I freely acknowledge that I'm an idiot for not, whatever, but for not seeing seeing her for who she truly is, which is a beautiful, wonderful.
There you go. Woman. Back on track.
There you go. But yeah, nah, she just wants to torture me with it, which is any wife's job.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of her for doing it, and well done. And she's right, I'm dumb, but she married me anyway. So who's the winner?
And who's really dumb? Who's the winner and who's really the idiot? My mom always says, she's like, when we first started dating, your father used to kind of run around on me a little bit, and I've been making him pay for it every single day of his life since. And that's marriage. There you go, kids. Find your spouse one day.
You started that sentence with when my mom said we started dating, and I was like, whoa, we're in some different
my dad,
yeah. All right. Anyway.
I think we've all been affected, obviously, by this quite a bit, but you've been affected in a particularly unique way. You had just started on Broadway, and I imagine Grand Horizons is shut down now. Obviously, it is.
Yeah, but what's great? But what was odd about it was that Grand Horizons, which was on Broadway and closed March 2nd, was always set to close March 2nd.
Oh, really?
Second stage. Yeah, they do limited runs. So we started in December and we finished up in March, and that was always the plan. And I remember in February, as Corona was kind of starting to come around, or no one really knew anything,
bubbling
right?
A little bit, yeah.
Bubbling. I remember hearing people cough in the audience, and there's always a little bit of a pause. I remember feeling the unease with which other audience members were listening to someone like hacking, coughing.
Yeah. There was a stretch where that
was popular.
That was a dangerous thing to do. Yeah. Like that was a way to get everyone in the room to hate you real quick. Yep. Just a casual cough.
It was so strange. And I mean, I was taking the subway to work every single day from where I live into, Manhattan, and like skin of our teeth. We got out. We might have been we probably were one of the last shows to close on its own terms. Everything else, ultimately got shut down only like 2 weeks later.
Right.
What was that experience like? I'm a big Broadway guy. I'm a Broadway guy, but like in like the lame way. Like I'm a big mainstream Broadway guy. I don't know like the secret upcoming shows, but I love going to Broadway. What was it like for you to kind of get to experience that or do that? I imagine you're a fan of the theater.
Yeah, I grew up. The first experience I had of acting was a play that my uncle had written, my dad's brother. And I grew up in Austin, Texas, but he wrote this play that premiered it opened in LA and then it moved to Broadway. And I was about 12 years old. And my mom bought my two younger brothers and I matching blazers with tan slacks. And we all like put on a little tie and jacket and went to see this Broadway play. And it was this transcendent experience. It was a 7-hour play. And I was hooked. So
7 hours?
7 hour.
And you were 12?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
It's incredible.
I mean, the only thing I could do when I was 12 for 7 hours is like play video games or masturbate. I don't know how you could do that that's intense, man.
Yeah, it was really wild. And I remember a seed being planted. So, to actually, and then I moved to New York after graduating college some years later. And I never made it to Broadway. I ended up in LA and I ended up doing UOC in Southland and Gotham, and Gotham brought me back to New York. So after Gotham finished, I was like, I really want to try to get out there. And thankfully this play came along, written by an old friend of mine, actually, Bess Wool. And it was great. It was a great experience. And there's nothing like being up there 8 times a week. I feel so bad for the Broadway community. It's just it's something that people don't really like. There's so much going on in the world that it's hard to like, to find any space to talk about it, but that community is just decimated because of it, and I hope that they'll come back, and I do think that they will eventually. But very strange time to be one of the last shows to close on Broadway.
What are the back room, like the dressing rooms? I feel like in my mind, like the dressing rooms are like really elegant because it's like divas and stuff like that from the theater. But like aside from being haunted, I imagine they're pretty bad back there.
Right. Right, we were at the Helen Hayes, so Helen was walking around backstage. I shared a dressing room with two other fellows, Michael Urie, Malik Pancholi, lovely gentlemen. We got to know each other quite well, having to change in front of each other.
So you guys are good friends now.
You got to be good friends. Once you see each other naked, you're good friends.
Yeah,
it's
we're
official.
Real good friends. Yeah. Well. Actors is like trying to get them to keep their clothes on. It was easy, man. It was easy. They were great. But yeah, Broadway's for the love, man. Nobody's. I mean, I guess there's some version of commercial theater. We weren't really doing that. Second Stage is nonprofit, so everybody's making the same wage, which is totally fine, totally good. But it's not it's do it for the love.
I've always said that I have no idea what people on Broadway make, and I would believe you if you told me $50,000 a year, and I would believe you if you told me $5 million a year. Yeah. I could believe absolutely anything. I have no clue.
Well, there's a massive difference between the sort of commercial and the nonprofit, and this was for the love, and it was great. I really appreciated it, and because it was one of the last, I felt like I sort of got unbelievably lucky to have had the opportunity, given that Broadway is not going to reopen again for at least another year.
I know Broadway's being smart about it. I mean, you're seeing sports try to rush back, and it's not working. And Broadway, you look at all the smart people. You look at Harvard graduates, like Ivy League schools. You look at people on Broadway. You look at companies like Google. They're all like, nope, not even close. And everyone else is like, let's go. Stupid.
Tells you something.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Well, we appreciate it, man. I got one more question for you. If things had gone different on the OC, because it sounded like there was some drama and you need to write certain things into the script, if that was able to just play out the way they maybe originally intended it, do you think you would have ended up with Marissa Cooper?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way they set it up.
That's what the fans wanted.
Poor kid. Right. Poor kid, rich girl. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Instead, you end up holding her in the street singing Hallelujah with
Yeah,
in the background.
exactly.
It's
Hallelujah.
much better this
Yeah.
way. All right,
Yeah,
so Freaks is a audio original from Audible. You can download it if you got an Amazon account. You pop on Audible. You can download it right now for free. 10 episodes. It's like a theatrical performance with names you know. Very cool stuff. Very interesting. Very new age. So good on you, and thanks for the time, man.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.
All right, thank you to Ryan Atwood. Let's get into it now with Heather McMahan. So when I first jumped into the free Britney pool, I was told that Heather McMahan is the person to talk to about this. She is the gang leader, and she is going to lead the charge. So I immediately reached out to her. She said her husband's a stoolie. She's got like 500,000 followers. She's big time on Instagram. So very funny conversation about Britney, amongst other things, with Heather McMahan here on KFC Radio.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Just fantastic. How are you? I actually am doing good today. I can say that honestly.
Good.
That's a rarity.
Yeah, usually it's a lie.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'm holding on by literally like an iced coffee and a martini every day. And I'm coming to you live from our closet. We have people sanding the floors today on all day, so I'm literally hiding in our closet right now. So I apologize.
And this is the closet that your mom just like redecorated or redesigned or some
Yes.
shit, right?
Yes, I am 33 years old, and I have just moved back into my mom's house. Yeah, with my fiance. So I don't know if that's going to end my marriage. Really, skyrocketed. I don't know where we're going emotionally.
Is this just a quick pit stop, or do we run into some troubled times, Heather? What's going on here?
No, you know what? I was living in New York, and I'm always on the road, touring and doing shows. And I'm really between Atlanta and LA. And my fiance is a born and raised New Yorker. And he was like, fuck this. I'm tired of New York. And the global pandemic hit. And he was like, no, let's move south. So we're just kind of taking over the Chateau McMahon, if you will. And my mom doesn't know she's probably about to get the boot. But, we're all one big happy family right now.
I'll tell you what,
So-
I didn't know where in the world you were, but I could have guessed the South, given on by like the pastel colored shirts back there. There's not a lot of black hanging up.
Well, that's all Jeff's. Okay, let me just get this out of the way, though. I have, done a lot of cool things in my career, done a sold-out tour, co-hosted the Today Show. Me being on this podcast right now is giving me more street cred with my fiance than anything. He was like geeking the fuck out, and I'm like, okay, like put your penis back in your pants, chill. Like it's a bromance. He loves y'all, so thank you for having me.
Tell him that we certainly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Today's a big day, by the way. You know what today is? July 22nd. Our girl Britney has a court case today.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all, what are we gonna do?
Lay
Where
it
do
on
we
me,
even
girl. What's the
start?
plan?
Here's the thing. So I started kind of whistleblowing on Britney Spears back in like 2016 because I was
Oh,
hungover
wow.
one day
You've been doing
laying.
this a minute.
Yeah, I've been doing some unsolved mysteries work, if you will.
Mhm.
I was hungover one day laying in bed watching her do those fashion runway walks where she just kind of looks, she's in like a tight bandage dress, just trying to figure life out.
Mhm.
And I was like, why is nobody talking about this? So I started talking about it publicly, and then it kind of took off. Then, of course, it like subsided for a little while. And now I think since everyone's, become a conspiracy theorist because they have nothing else to fucking do with their time, all the Gen Zers have been like peeling back the layers trying to figure out what's going on with Britney. I mean, people think that I can actually save her. Like at one point I had to sit back and be like, hey, brah, like I don't have any connection to her. I tried to get in touch with Jamie Lynn. Like I've got to wait for them to like blink twice and send me a signal. And then I'll show up to her house and, thousand out.
Are you worried that you're going to have to go full like Pizzagate person, just show up at her house with an AK? Be like, let Britney out now.
Honestly, at some point there were moments where I was just like really revved up, like this is our girl. Because people have to realize, like I come at it from I'm just a huge fucking fan. Like I adore her.
Yeah.
But also I think there's a lot about what's going on with her situation that we don't know. I mean, I think it's frustrating if you're looking inward. You're like, okay, she doesn't have control of her money. Clearly, she doesn't have control of. We don't see her kids a lot, which I respect. And apparently they've been doing their own live streams from their dad's house. I can't imagine to be that successful and not have a credit card, not have, be basically stuck at your home. I mean, Britney's the only one who's been actually thriving during quarantine.
Yeah.
She's used to this shit.
When I heard, she made $131 million on tour. She put out an album and did a Vegas residency. And she can't get flowers sent to her hotel room because it's over her budget that her dad gives. I mean, fuck that. And honestly, she is a little crazy, right? I mean, something's going on there.
You can't not be. Like, you grew up in the Mickey Mouse Club. Like
you have to be.
You've been in the public eye this long. Yes, you're definitely.
And so
listen, I've had like mild success over the last 2 years, and I'm even fucking losing my mind.
Right,
like, I get it. You know,
Yeah.
you've got family members coming out of the woodwork being like, "You gonna cut me a check?" And you're like, "No, Uncle Terry, you're an alcoholic. Like, get away." So I think that's what she's dealing with right now.
But I mean, there's every chance that if when we get her out of this conservatorship, I could see her blowing $200 million like tomorrow and being an absolute lunatic. But I think you deserve the right to do that. Like, let the girl live, and if she fucks it up, she fucks it up.
I really think genuinely Brittany wants to go back to Louisiana, open a cheer studio or a dance studio, wear her like rolled up Sophie shorts and just live her life. Like go barefoot in the bayou. She's a simple girl. I can relate to her. We're both Southern. There's just something really like refreshing about putting your feet in some grass and drinking a full diabetic coma sweet tea. That's just like who we are. And so I think she just wants to live a simple life.
Yeah.
But people are giving her shit that her dancing's weird right now and she's trying to send us messages. I will say from artist to artist, that's just her doing her thing. Like she's vibing.
I
don't think people
saw
need
your
to read into
freestyle
that.
dancing. Yeah. Just out there feeling the beat.
Yeah, just feeling the fucking beat. I mean, we're all locked up. Like, some days I play like pill roulette and I just open a drawer and take something and see where the ride takes me. So she may be doing the same thing.
Did you believe the yellow shirt thing?
No, I didn't. Here's the deal, because I do know, and I've had an inside source tell me that she still is not actually free posting her Instagrams. So somebody else, she has to send even like the crazy captions. She's still sending it to another company who then has to post.
Really?
I mean, it was a big deal.
But then
is that a legal thing or is that like a celebrity thing? Like she just like famous celebrities have companies that run their Instagram, or is that like you are obligated to send anything that you put out into the world has to be run through this company first?
I don't know. It could be through her conservatorship, or it could just be a celeb thing, But
when they changed the caption, though, the caption didn't say yellow shirt first and then was changed to mention the yellow shirt.
Oh, that's right.
Like, that's a little suspect.
Well, I mean, it'd be even wilder. She had to pick up the phone and call some girl named Cheryl and be like, "Cheryl, change it," and then I'm sure the message would get back to her family.
Scary shit.
It is scary shit. And, I know, like you said, the court case is going on today. My heart goes out to her because I can only imagine that kind of pressure having to, have so many people with their hand in your pocket.
Yeah.
I do think that she's probably, trying to go through some shit. Now, her sister, Jamie Lynn, commented on somebody's Instagram and was like, "You have no idea what's going on, my sister. You cannot talk about her mental health." And I totally respect that. Like, we're all going through some shit. But I think everybody comes from a real level of like concern for her because she's the fucking shit. Like Brittany is an icon and we just want to see her thriving and doing well.
Yeah, she's next level. Like she's next level famous, next level iconic. There's you had a couple hit albums. Brittany like needs body doubles when she leaves the house. That we're talking next level type shit that very, very few people go through.
It feels like we're going through a similar thing with Kanye right now. Like,
how's he walking the streets? How's fucking Brittany locked up, but Kanye can just do whatever he wants?
I mean,
great point.
Kim had that comment this morning. Kim put out like a big, I'm got stuck here. Big Instagram post this morning, being like, "Look, if you deal with someone who deals with these problems, like you can't do anything unless they want to get help." And I guess save for a conservatorship.
Yeah, or we could just like lock you in a tower and you can't get out like Cinderella.
Well, it's interesting. I heard, a bunch of the female comics talking about it. They were like, it's interesting how Kanye is just allowed to like roam free and hold like a rally, like a political rally. Well, while Britney's just like literally just trying to,
you think that's a male-female
in her
thing?
house. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I think she's like a caged bird, right? Like a baby bird, like keep her safe, keep her home.
Right.
When I think she should just be able to like go to the Cheesecake Factory and fucking live her life.
She was young when this first happened, though, wasn't she? Was like Connie's like 45 now, wasn't she? Like 26.
She was in 2007. I think she was like 28 or something.
28.
That's still. I mean,
you're an adult woman, that's for sure. But I think 28 and 45 are two different times.
Yeah,
too.
I
like at 28, my parents would take care of me if something went wrong. At 45, they'd be like, "Dude,
you're a lost cause. Just fuck out of here.
Go fuck yourself. Figure it out."
The funniest thing that's happened to me since I started to like post about this is the Britney fans like rallying. And they're so appreciative of like if I just tweet like free Britney, they're like, so this one dude, guy, girl, I don't know, it was just like a free Britney account. tweeted me and said, like, can you follow me so I can DM you so I can send you like the scoop? And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. This person DMs me like 100 times a day. Just links and pictures and like connecting the dot. It's just non-stop. And I feel like I've got like a whole, they're like my army now. I'm gonna like sick
You're
the
the Britney squad?
I mean, there was comments on our YouTube page that said that I'm the real Kevin she deserves, not Kevin Federline. Like, let's go. Let's do this, gang. It's wild though to have fans like that. It's like somebody.
Yeah.
You said, I don't know what can we do? How could we? Like they will show up at a courthouse one day. If not, I can't believe it hasn't happened yet. They're just gonna like storm her mansion.
Yeah, I mean, it's really wild to see this whole movement take off. And, you know, I try and send her messages all the time. I'm like, listen, I think she just wants a girlfriend. Like, sit down with a group of girls. We'll go somewhere chill, you know, like a Maggiano's Italian grill. And we'll just like have a chopped salad and just figure some shit out. Like, I just really want to sit down and fucking talk to her and be like, yo, what do you need? I'm here for you.
I feel like you guys would get along. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went to school in Mississippi. Like, I know that like Louisiana vibe. I'll just get in the van. Let's go. I'm taking you home.
When did, as a Britney super fan, because I'm a Britney fan. You know, I haven't really followed her career super closely anymore. But like I rarely hear a Britney Spears song. I'm like, this stinks. But like when I played baseball in high school, like Toxic was my walkout song. Like I
didn't know that.
I liked Britney. Yeah. But when did she make this switch? Because now I feel like her super fans are only like mostly gay guys. Yeah. When did she become like a gay icon? Like I follow a playlist on Spotify that's fire, and it's called "Songs I Blame Straight People for Not Becoming Hits," and it's like mostly Britney.
Right.
It's like sleepover and stuff like that.
I think she's always been a gay icon because I know all my gay guy friends who weren't even out of the closet, like in high school, they were fucking obsessed with Britney. So I think she's just always been that icon because she's like, she's empowered. She's just fucking sexy and raw and like a little bit trashy in the best way, you know? And
it's a great description.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say, like, I think my sense of style is like old Hollywood glamour with a splash of trash, you know? And I think that's just, you got to keep things balanced.
Yeah.
No, she's always been an icon since day one. I mean, anybody who comes out and, pigtails, with Hit Me Baby One More Time, like she, right out the gate, she knew what the fuck she was doing.
Yep.
That was right out the gate. We talk about that a lot now, but like, she was how old in that video?
Way too young to be doing what she was doing at that age and the way we were looking at her. She was like a 16-year-old girl, and everyone was like, oh, I want to fuck that schoolgirl. It's like, Jesus Christ, guys. She's a child.
It makes sense why she's at where she's at now because, like, she was hypersexualized, I would guess. I don't know what age she was on Mickey Mouse Club, but I would guess it started then.
Yeah.
Like, that was
a 6-year-old girl.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm always so fascinated by Timberlake. He's, like, so normal. He started back then. He did the boy band thing. He did his solo albums.
I think, but so was Gosling. I think it's probably just like guys were far less sexualized.
I guess so, yeah. But I mean, in general, unless he's just hiding it all, like he's never had. Just recently this year, he was like, there was that picture of him like touching a girl, and they were like, "Oh, Timberlake cheated." And it was like that was the only time I've ever seen anything negative about him, and he's like a mega star. I don't know how he did it.
I'm sure it has to do with like them being dudes, honestly. You're not asked to wear certain things. You're not asked. Right. And the biggest thing with Britney is like, her natural voice, and her voice is totally different than the voice that she performs in.
Right.
So, I mean, I have like a deep smoker voice. I'm pretty sure she's down here on like my level.
Right.
Because sometimes you can see some old interviews where she's like down, just talking like this, like, what's up, I'm Britney. Yeah. And they've kind of forced her to play that baby voice that we're up here. It's like a character. Yeah. So I think that's a part of the equation. She's not even really, she's put on a persona and a character for so long that she can't even really be just like the down-ass country girl that she is.
Oh, it sucks.
It sucks being a girl. You guys,
it really does.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Even just like an average chick is, forget about famous, just like regular girl. You have to like dress a certain way, act a certain way. Fuck that.
I remember Daniel Radcliffe was talking about like he couldn't get like intimate roles after Harry Potter.
Yeah,
and they were like, people just don't buy Hogwarts kids as sexual beings, and he's like Emma Watson turned 14 before you had her trying to fuck on set. Like, don't tell me you don't buy a Hogwarts. You'll say it's me. Say I don't look.
Yeah, you look like a nerd.
Say
dude.
it's not a guy, but like you tried to get Emma Watson to fuck at a young age. Like, don't tell me it's that.
Listen, I mean, look at Shia LaBeouf, right? Like, he's like the hottest guy now. I mean, he went from being like kind of a goobery kid to he's just fucking, up for every award and playing all these cool roles. I'm like, I only audition to play either hookers or like a tired mom of 4. I have no children. I get plenty of sleep. It's like one or the other. So, I mean, Hollywood definitely loves to like pigeonhole us. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, that's it. That's all I get.
What was the TikTok conspiracy that you were following?
Dude, I mean, you were talking about it. It's like these Gen Zers talking about the deep state with the Ghislaine Maxwell and Wayfair Gate and all this shit. I had to literally, for my own mental sanity, I had to like turn off TikTok the other night and like hide my phone because I'll be 6 hours deep. And I'm like, we got to save Ghislaine Maxwell at all costs. Just keep her alive.
No,
not that she's innocent.
Oh,
we got to
okay.
keep her
We're still-
alive
yes.
so she can talk.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that. We don't want any Ghislaine supporters on the show here.
No. I simply want her to name names and like we just got to make sure she stays alive.
Why would she not?
Twice.
Like, just fucking spit it, girl. It's over for you and the whole gang. Just fucking tell us.
I would, but when did you? Have you always been the conspiracy theorist, or is this really very much a pandemic situation?
Oh, full pandemic. Now, here's the thing. I gave my mom shit. My mom's 72, boomer. Like, I used to give her shit when she'd get emails from her neighbor, Leslie, who's like, watch these creepy YouTube videos. And now that I've had, plenty of time on my hands, and really it's the younger generation. So now that all these young kids are just reaffirming all the videos that my mom used to send me through her email chain, I'm like, this shit's fucking real. Yeah, now it's kind of hard. Like when they put some of this shit up, you're like, oh, damn, everyone was on the Lolita Express. Like everyone's guilty. And I find it interesting. A lot of celebrities aren't, like defending themselves. Chrissy Teigen is. She's like, you guys are fucking nuts. I was not on this. Right. But a lot of the other celebrities are just keeping their mouths shut. So it kind of makes you wonder.
But like if someone was like, John's a fucking rapist, I'd be like, what are you?
No, I'm not.
I'd be like, that's a weird fucking. Yeah. And granted, like, if it was hundreds of them tweeting it at me, I might say something. But if I got a few of them, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's almost like it's so outlandish that like I can't even. It's like I'm not even going to dignify this with a response. Right. But at the same time, if someone was calling me a fucking pedophile, I think I'd be like, no. Just want to clear that up.
But then, but it's also that's like the so I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's one I've never really gotten into
because he's an idiot. He's a naive idiot.
But like,
wake up.
If they came out and defended themselves, then it's like, why are you even defending yourselves over such crazy accusations? What's wrong? What do you got in your closet?
But then if you don't, like Heather just said, like it's a little suspect if they haven't said anything, you can't win.
That's what I mean. Once you get accused, you can't win.
That's why
once you get accused in a conspiracy theory, I'm not talking about like largely as the legal justice system, but like in a conspiracy theory, it's like I'm fucking stuck between Scylla and Charybdis.
That's why you're good reference.
Yeah,
that's why
I had that one in the bag.
Once you're famous and shit, that's why getting famous sucks. Because like you might just get like caught up in a fucking rumor, and then all of a sudden you have to defend yourself against a pedophile island, and it's like, God damn it! I just wanted.
Yeah, you're like a fucking Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you're trafficking kids through Trader Joe's. You're like, no, I was just buying fucking guacamole and some wine. Like, lay off me.
Yo, guess what?
What's in the bag?
There's a picture of me in front of that island. How about that? You want to get into conspiracy theory shit?
A picture in front.
There's a picture of me, and you can see the island in the background.
Whoa, buddy.
I'm on a boat. It's actually
X out of this shit real quick. See
it's
you later.
actually,
really, I gotta go.
I'll see if I can find this on Facebook. I don't even know if I have access to that anymore. But my family, we went to St. Bart's or St. Thomas, I forget which one it was, and we were just taking like rented a boat for a day and had like a captain, and we were driving by that island. And my dad was like, who lives there? Like, that is a massive place. And the guy just goes, fucking American pedophile. And that was it.
How long ago was this?
I mean, I can actually find out for you, but I'm going to guess I was probably right around college, if not just out. So I'm going to say between 2010 and 2013.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was a long
Okay.
time ago.
Yeah, that I've always heard. You have a friend in the Virgin Islands who was like, if they
She lives on that. She wherever I was. I forget if it was St. Bart's or St. Thomas, but she lives there.
But she was the one saying, like, if you want the full scoop, like, they should have come and talked to the locals. Like, then you would have heard
Like,
all
we
the
all
details.
knew forever. Like,
Yeah.
everyone knew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch the Jeffrey Epstein documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just, I mean, that when I watched that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Now, I do think some of the celebrities that they've listed, whether or not they were on the Lolita Express, he also just had a black book of famous people. You know, when you're at that level of wealth, you just run into people. But it is wild. I follow this like Instagram account that's just like celebs with Ghislaine. And it's just everyone has taken a photo with this woman. And it's like a flashback to like party pics at sorority parties and fraternity parties in college. I'm like, where I was just in every fucking photo. And now I'm like, this was Ghislaine.
Did you see her?
That's what sucks. Like, if you're a celebrity, it's like I think there was one, I was looking at that account, and there's one with like Reese Witherspoon. I'm like, they're at the Oscars. Like, she's in Reese Witherspoon's territory. That's some fucking dark room. Like, you're on the red carpet at the Oscars. What she doing at the Oscars is a better question than what she doing
Who
with
invited
Reese
her
Witherspoon.
fucking there?
They think she was connected to Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, right. That would make sense. Yep.
Yeah.
She was in those pictures with John Bonet. You saw that?
Oh, okay. That fucking blew my mind. And it's only like a side profile. I mean, literally, that's when you can start to make yourself fucking crazy where you're like, is that her nose? Is that not her nose? But would it make sense? Fuck yeah, it would.
Yeah, and I'm like, if there's a missing child and there's a chance it's her, and she did it. That's pretty much where I'm at. So no benefit of the doubt over here. But
I had to quit smoking weed and like watching the TikToks because I was just getting in a really like a paranoia. And then I thought for a second that I could like save the children. And I just said, I had to take a step back. I'm living with my mom. You know what I mean? Like, let's come back down to earth.
TikTok is fascinating. I don't know. Maybe it's just that when it opens up, it just starts. Maybe it's because they allow like mainstream music. Whatever it is, it's psychologically like it captures you. Like you can't, I mean, everybody goes down a TikTok hole. And like you said, it's like hours later. I need like a study done on why TikTok. It's like Instagram does it, but not really.
Instagram doesn't do it for me at all.
Yeah.
Like
I'll go on Instagram for 3 seconds.
Yeah, and you're done.
It
This
does
is
not
like
do it for me.
You're just flying through TikTok.
Well, what do you guys get suggested? Because mine on the For You page, it's only dudes in prison now. Like I'm really deep into prison.
I just learned about prison TikTok. It's
amazing.
Awesome. It's so great. There's that one dude who's like kind of like a flamboyant guy, and he is he is the belle of the fucking
Is he the guy
ball.
with the hula hoop?
Yeah.
And you're like, where the fuck did you get a hula hoop in prison?
They get a phone to TikTok.
Well, so I've done some research. So I'm like, I found some accounts where they explain how they like make batteries and how they like hot wire so they can charge their phones. They give like MTV crib tours of their cell. I'm like, this is fucking nuts.
Like they're
like,
wiring
this
the
close
shit
to a relationship.
Oh, you're gonna be a pen pal with a TikToker in like 3 weeks.
No, legit.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Mike. I kind of have a crush on him. I was like, Jeff, I may put money in his commissary. Like it's kind of hot, just like your thing.
I mean, I feel like if you're gonna like hotwire a battery and smuggle a phone in your ass, like maybe use it to like get out of prison or it's like, nah, I got to get the fucking renegade off, dude.
Well,
I gotta get my dances going.
You're setting up your nest egg. Then
That's
when you get out of prison, guess
That's
what?
actually a great point. Those guys will be ready to fucking roll.
Right, you're moving to the hype house.
Cons in the fucking
prison hype house.
Yeah, that's all they're auditioning for the hype house. Like, look how good I hula hoop, boys.
But it's like a halfway hype house.
Yeah.
You know? You can't leave it.
So what else is going on career-wise? I mean, everything's kind of on hold right now. You're not able to hit the stage. Nothing's filming really, right? So you just kind of chilling with mom?
Yeah, chilling with mom. I'm working on a development. I have a show in development right now, a scripted series kind of based on my life of like literally moving home with my mother. But it's weird to not be on the road. Like I have two modes. I'm either in work mode and I'm always on an airplane. I'm like this close to diamond status on Delta, or I just have no pants on and I'm like sweating in the garage and like just wandering. Like I don't have like this chill out mode is very rare for me. So I mean, like I'm crushing a Costco these days. Like I'm very domestic right now and I'm kind of loving it. But yeah, I mean, I've got a podcast and we just did a live show. I'm trying to like figure out that live show space. People still want to be entertained and we're trying to literally do it from literally my mom's house. So
how
still
was the
putting out
live
shit.
show?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, we had awesome guests. Kind of set it up more like a late night show. But dude, I miss doing stand up. Like I miss being on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
like starting to itch.
We don't even do stand up or anything like that. But the other day I went on like a helicopter ride, and it was before the chopper thing. You sat in a room and you like watched like a safety tutorial on everything. And
right.
being an asshole, I like kept making fun of the video and was getting good laughs in the room. And I was like, boy, this feels nice.
I need to get back out there. Validation, baby.
Yeah, I was like, oh, God, I haven't made someone laugh in a long time who like doesn't have sex with me. So this is
not obligated to laugh at me. Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Yeah. I feel you there. I mean, I'm just like, I caught myself talking to like a LaCroix can the other day just to see if my material was working. I was like, I got to get the fuck out of the house. And I'm in Atlanta, so all my friends have kids. So they're like losing their shit. And they're like, come over. I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I've
I
already
need
been locked
that.
up with my mom. I'm good. I don't need to hang out with you and your 3 kids. I love you, but we're good.
We were just talking about that on our last episode. A college football player, Trevor Lawrence, just got engaged as a sophomore in college. And we were talking about how...
I know we're upset about it.
I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy move if you're a normal person getting married that early. If you're a football player or a future millionaire, it's extra crazy. But we were saying how like down south and in these southern colleges, that's just like the norm. And I'll never understand it. I think it's the craziest thing in the world what you Southerners do. You're nuts.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I'm marrying a New Yorker. We've been together 10 years. We met when we were kids. But I said, like, we invested in each other like a startup. I was like, he had no money. I had no money. And now we're like, we're getting there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this was an investment. We were supposed to get married this year in Italy. And clearly that's off the table. So I'm like, what's another year? Like, we've been together 10. What's in 11 years? Like, at this point, I'm on his life insurance. He's on mine. We're good.
Yeah, it's really just a formality at that point. But so what stopped you? I would imagine you had like a lot of friends who kind of got married early, had kids early. Like why were you like, nah, that's not for me?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a stereotype to say that everybody gets married young down here. And then also like, I remember having what we called candle lights in my sorority at Ole Miss, where literally you pass around a candle and then whoever got engaged would blow it out. And we one time had like a sophomore too. I was like, bitch, you were like 19 years old. Why are you engaged? This is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. I dated this guy. I didn't get married young because I knew like I wanted to do comedy. And I dated this guy from like the coast of Mississippi. And I'll never forget. He's like, hi, baby, this relationship ain't going to work out because you're going to live in Big Apple. And I've no desire to even go there on vacation.
Hey, I mean, dude knows what he wants and what he doesn't want.
Yeah, like he's chilling in Biloxi at the casinos, like living his best life. I just knew I had too much shit to accomplish, you know? And hell, my mom had me at 40 and I only turned out like half cooked. So I got time to have kids and do all that shit.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I thank you for starting the Free Britney movement. I will carry that torch along with you wherever we go. We got to get this girl out. So thanks for that. We appreciate the time. And anytime you want to come back on, let us know. And tell Jeff we said thank you.
Oh my God, he is gonna literally jizz his pants right now. You guys, this is great. Yeah, we gotta figure out what we're doing. You know, we gotta figure out how to save her. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna be waiting at a Chipotle or a Cheesecake Factory, just waiting on my girl.
Just like wait for the word. Like put out the fucking Britney signal, and we'll like storm her mansion whenever you say go. I'm waiting for the fucking green light from you. People really DM me.
I'll tell you what. Anyone who can inspire Kevin like this is impressive. Kevin
I don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah, and Kevin's like, I'm not gonna get up off the couch for it. And like Kevin's now gonna lay siege to homes.
I mean, a lot of people DM me and they said like when I put out that video and they were like, you got to talk to Heather McMahan. She's the one. She's the leader. And I DM'd her and I was like, I hear you're the person to talk to. So
I got you. Let's go.
Yeah. Part of the
I'll
army.
call you if I see a bat signal. I will literally call you. We'll get in the chopper. We'll head to LA and we'll just like figure it out. And then we'll bring our girl home to Louisiana. Like I'm here for it. God is good. We're gonna make it happen.
Let's go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Bye guys. Thanks.
Bye.